that she's going to present her best version today. And that's what she's going to need, I would think, to beat the Lioness Amanda Nunes.
It's a stylistic dream matchup because you got this brawling power striker who's the greatest knockout artist in the history of women's MMA against a woman who is so good at avoiding being hit, so technical from the outside, physically strong, and she's also fought at 45 as well.
UFC 239 is here, boys. No more hype. All action from here. Here's a look at what else is coming your way tonight. The rest of the fight card is brought to you by Motel 6. When you need a rest, check into Motel 6. We'll leave the light on for you. He goes by Gamebred. Jorge Masvidal returned from a 16-month absence earlier this year, and man did he do so in style. 2 post-fight bonuses for his main event knockout of Darren Till. And he would like nothing more than to keep it going tonight against a man who has never been beaten. United States Olympian Ben Askren. 19-0 as an MMA pro, his UFC debut against Robbie Lawler didn't go off without a hitch, but it did produce a win. Now Askren has his sights set on Gamebred as he tries to further climb the UFC welterweight ladder. Poland's Jan Blachowicz nearly scaled the light heavyweight ladder, but he saw Thiago Santos halt his 4-fight winning streak back in February. That said, tonight, Blachowicz has a golden opportunity in front of him as he looks to provide a rude 205-pound welcome to a divisional newcomer but familiar face, former UFC middleweight champion Luke Rockhold. The latter ends a year-plus layoff tonight and will look to expedite a run to the top of the division where John Jones still resides. These locker room shots are brought to you by P3, the official protein snack of UFC. Well, last night he saw his 2009 bout versus Clay Guida inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. 24 hours later, it's UFC appearance number 30 for the resurgent Thiago Sanchez, who will try to come through as the underdog tonight against fellow grappler Michael Chiesa. A win over Carlos Condit gave him immediate welterweight traction. He'll try to finish off another big name on a big stage here tonight. The rules of the Octagon are brought to you by Hobbs & Shaw. Fast and Furious presents Hobbs & Shaw, starring Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham, in theaters August 2nd. 3 judges score the fight. The bout duration is 3 5-minute rounds, but for championship fights and all UFC main events, we go 5 5-minute rounds. A 10-point must-scoring system is in effect. The round winner gets 10 points. His or her opponent 9 or fewer, except in the case of a 10-10 round. And scoring is based on effective striking and grappling, followed by aggression, and then octagon control in that order. Also on the rules front, if you're curious, the Nevada State Athletic Commission uses a hybrid version of the new unified rules. Most of the new rules in effect, but the down fighter rule is the old one. 1 hand down is all you need instead of 2 to be considered a grounded fighter. Also, instant replay can be called upon at any time during a fight tonight. These fighter odds brought to you by Poker Stars. Pound for pound, the greatest online poker experience in the world. Take on the best to win millions of prizes every day. On Poker Stars, Michael Chiesa, the minus 350 betting favorite. Thiago Sanchez coming back in the plus 275 range here tonight. With the housekeeping out of the way, we are ready to go with our main card. It is UFC 239. Good to have you with us tonight from Vegas. Well, Thiago Sanchez has been a UFC roster staple since 2005, but the Nightmare feels his form has never been better as he approaches this one tonight against Michael Chiesa. 2 of the Ultimate Fighter's most prominent alumni face off in the Octagon tonight, as Season 1 winner Thiago Sanchez draws the winner of the series' only live season, Michael Chiesa, in a showdown that will elevate the man left standing in more ways than one.
I'm very proud to be a winner from the Ultimate Fighter, but I want to beat the Ultimate Fighter. He's the very first guy to win the season, so I want to beat that guy. So I'm looking to go out and beat Thiago Sanchez, get that big name on my resume, and move into the top 10.
It's extremely important for me to not let my foot off the gas pedal and keep the pressure nonstop. That's my style, that's who I am, and I'm going to be in his face right off the bat.
Finding his second win to his storied career in his return to welterweight, Thiago Sanchez has put together back-to-back wins over Craig White and Mickey Gall on the road to Vegas tonight. And with a win over Michael Chiesa, it will be quite the finish to the weekend for this newly minted UFC Hall of Fame.
I'm looking to end this in a dominating fashion. I'm not leaving this in the judges' hands. I'm coming out with the finish.
Like his opponent tonight, Michael Chiesa realized that a move to welterweight would be the best decision he could make. And his second-round finish of Carlos Condit in December proved Chiesa was ready for anyone in his new weight class, including the inimitable Thiago Sanchez.
The Carlos Condit fight was the biggest win of my career so far. It proved that I belong at welterweight, and now I gotta go out and beat Thiago Sanchez tonight to prove that I belong in the top 15, in the top 10 in this division, and work my way towards the championship.
Well, back in 2012, he survived 13 weeks to emerge as the winner of the only live season of The Ultimate Fighter, and now making his 13th UFC appearance as a bona fide welterweight contender. And he understands when you're fighting Thiago Sanchez, you are going to be in a fight, and all indications are Chiesa's ready to go.
You better have your storm gear ready.
I'm telling you.
Because it's coming. I mean, Thiago Sanchez fights one way, and it's a crazy, chaotic ride in store for Michael Chiesa. That said, I love Michael Chiesa at welterweight. This is where he should have been years ago. I think he ruined his body to try to get down to 155 pounds. And when he was fighting, he was great. And when he was fighting at 155, he was just too depleted. And we saw him against Carlos Condit. I mean, Carlos Condit is a stud. So for him to submit Carlos Condit in his welterweight debut, we really got to see how good he is at that weight class. He's a big, tall, long guy. He has sensational grappling. His striking is good. His grappling is amazing.
Yeah, and I talked to Mike today. We were talking about his rehydration and stuff. He's like, bro, when I was cutting to 55, it would deplete me so bad sometimes that my rehydration would go wrong, and the other way where he would get so big. We're talking like 190-ish, okay? That the point where he would go on the treadmill to sweat a little bit before fight day so that he felt more like himself, because his body would just soak it up so much because of how much he was actually cutting. This is where he needs to be, 100%. He's never going back, is what he says.
Yeah, I mean, look how big that guy is. It's crazy that he ever made the weight class to begin with.
There's only one.
Who could forget the time he came out with a crucifix and was yelling yes?
Oh, yeah.
He is unusual, to put it bluntly.
But he's always been that way, at least, right? So a lot of people can be like, oh, what's happening? It's like, what are you talking about?
He's amazing, though. I mean, I love watching this guy fight. He's one of my favorite all-time fighters, for sure. I mean, the fight that just went into the Hall of Fame with him and Clay Guida, a great all-time fight. But he's been in so many of them. This guy has just an unquenchable thirst for combat. That's the best way to put it.
I was just going to say, I don't think there's any other way to put it. Unquenchable thirst for combat,
and
Thiago
after
Sanchez.
all these years, it hasn't died down at all. I mean, he is season 1 Ultimate Fighter winner, and he's still in the heat. He's on the main card and pay-per-view for a reason. I mean, he's coming off of a fantastic stoppage of Mickey Gall. This kid, I mean, he's not a kid anymore. Jesus. He's 37. Thiago Sanchez is an animal, and he keeps talking about anti-aging, his secrets of anti-aging. I love watching him talk almost as
Maybe it's in those spaceships, Joe. He found it before we did.
He's out there with Bob Lazar in the middle of the desert. He's got Element 115 in his shorts.
Hey, man, look into it.
Look at him. Look at him.
All right, here we go with our main card opener. This Tale of the Tape is brought to you by Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. Thiago Sanchez, 43rd pro fight tonight. He is 37. Michael Chiesa is 31. Chiesa, the taller man by a couple of inches. Chiesa will have a reach advantage of 3.5 inches. All right, now for the official introductions, we turn it over to Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas for UFC 239, Jones versus Santos, presented by Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. And now, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 15 wins, 4 losses. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 170.5 pounds. Fighting out of Spokane, Washington, presenting the Ultimate Fighter Season 15 winner, Michael Maverick Chiesa! And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 31 wins, 11 losses. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 169 pounds. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, presenting the Ultimate Fighter Season 1 winner, Thiago Nightmare Sanchez! And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Mark Smith.
Mark Smith, our referee. Ariane Celeste getting us started here for round 1. Man, Vegas loves Thiago Sanchez, and how could you not? Brittany Palmer, Brooklyn Wren with us. Guy's not intense at all. Foaming at the mouth, Thiago Sanchez before the fight. This fight clock brought to you by Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. Chiesa out of the southpaw stances in green. Thiago Sanchez also going southpaws in black. An early shot from Sanchez.
Chiesa gets a hold of the neck, though. This is not a good position for Thiago Sanchez. Well, Chiesa, okay, he's not under the neck. It looked like he was. He's actually just under the armpits. He's trying to reverse him. He does.
Yeah, Mike took that like he knew exactly what he wanted to do right there.
Yes, he knew. Look, Thiago shoots often.
Wow, beautiful transition. Look at that.
Oh, man. He's going into the arm bar.
But this is a bad spot to end up on with Thiago on top of you.
Chiesa has those long legs, though. He can transition to triangles. Okay, now this is bad. Now is in full guard, and Diego's driving on top of him. Chiesa right back up. God, he is so big for 170. It's amazing he used to make 55.
Nice throw.
Look at that. Beautiful.
Gets right back to the wizard, turns around. Look at that.
Sensational
nice
grappling. I mean, this was always the hallmark of Michael Chiesa's skill set, but we're really getting to see him utilize it with a healthy body now.
Right. Yeah, not still feeling all the effects from the weight cut, man. I fought on the card with Mike, and you could just see it. And he's like, yeah, man, even his last one, he's like, I think I'm done after this. He knew even then, I can't keep doing this to myself. It's limiting his performance so badly.
Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, starring Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham, in theaters August 2nd.
Pressure! Pressure!
Thiago Sanchez leaving Jackson Wink MMA for a 2nd time in his career in advance of this fight. Very lean corner tonight for Sanchez as he makes his 30th UFC appearance.
No, Tyson him!
Yeah, Diego's sheet here is about 7 pages long.
Quite the resume.
It's 3, but you know, I
He's got the clinch here, and Michael just bulldogs him to the ground. Tying up that arm, he might roll into a crucifix here.
And I don't believe Diego's ever been submitted.
Right.
I don't believe he has been either. But he looks like he might get triangled here. Michael's got the back
nice
here.
work.
Good strikes. Just great control here by Chiesa. You got the back, you got the triangle.
Nice. Soften him up. He's not rushing it. He's got to be careful here. But he's got the body lock, and he's got the triangle. He's under the neck. Oh, Mike's setting that up deep, too.
This is very, very bad for Thiago Sanchez. His face is bright red. Mike squeezing it. Wow, he got out of it. Mike's going to soften him up before he tires his arms.
Nice elbows there from Chiesa.
Nasty elbow.
Oh, right on the ear, too. Listen, I'm not trading knee elbows for side of my head elbows, I can tell you that.
8 career wins by rear naked choke for Michael Chiesa. Still maintaining control of the back here. Less than 2 minutes to go, round 1. We used to talk about Chiesa's frame for the lightweight division. Length still works for him here at 70.
Oh, nice shot. Look at this.
Sanchez has a serious motor, Joe. I know you've said he might be the best round 3
Look at that
fighter in MMA.
switch.
Beautiful switch.
Gonna finish it.
Chiesa just seems way bigger.
Oh, he is.
It's kind of crazy when you see him and you realize Diego won season 1 of The Ultimate Fighter at 185. But Chiesa is just overpowering him and with beautiful technique.
Yeah, look for Mike to start looking for some ground and pound here. Nice job. He's got to just smash him down, man.
Stacking him and landing a good shot there from the top.
Good wrist control.
Yep, look at this though. Diego elevating him.
Under 30 seconds now to go in this first round as we show you the numbers on head strikes. Advantage Chiesa.
Is that Diego's coach yelling crack the coconut? Do you hear that, Joe?
I don't know what
I'm
that
dead
means.
serious. That's what I heard.
That means?
Oh, it's an elbow to the head. You can figure that one out, but just yell elbow as well.
Strong start tonight for Michael Chiesa. This corner cam is brought to you by Body Armor. Make the switch to Body Armor, the official sports drink of UFC. More natural, better sports drink. Grab one today at Speedway.
Good pace.
Thanks.
Oh.
There's no one in Diego's corner yet.
Yeah, he
Here we
made
go.
it.
Now he made it.
It's the pacing we want. I know you're a little tired.
I'm good.
Get your breath right now. Good.
Yes, sir. I went that round?
Easy.
Okay.
Easy. Yeah. Cool. Stay on
Pressure. You're good. In the nose, out the mouth. 5 more recovery breaths.
Stay there, I'll get it.
You know how fast you need it? Out as slow as you can. Okay? We're all good. We're all good. That's just 1 round. I need it. I need that Tyson. I need that. Those strikes. No strikes happen. Let's go.
UFC 239, Jones versus Santos is presented by Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. So here we go with round 2. Diego Sanchez would appear to have some work to do. Michael Chiesa with an early shot, and the fight goes right back to the ground.
Yep, right where Chiesa wants this.
He is just ragdolling Diego, which I don't remember seeing anybody ever do before. I don't think I've ever seen anybody handle Diego on the ground with this much ease and fluidity. The way he's doing it, he's just rolling from technique to technique. He's looking to get a rear naked choke from the side, it looked like. But he's just flowing.
Yeah.
And he looks very calm while he's doing it.
Nice wrist control. Look at that. That's going to open up some big shots.
Big shots.
Mike's getting busy.
Trying to get out of there.
Got that one hook in.
He is so much bigger than Diego. It really is crazy.
Well, I think these days, I've seen it on the social media, I think Diego walks around about 170, 75 pounds.
Chiesa certainly made those ground strikes count. Strong first minute to round 2 for him.
Ooh. Big elbow.
Big elbow.
Yeah, you're right, though, Joe. Right here, it's pretty obvious. Nice punches there. Still goes in for the takedown. Now, see, with somebody like Chiesa, I think that's a smart move. There's certain fights where I'm like, okay, you have somebody stung up against the fence, don't go for a takedown. But Mike is so good on the ground.
Yeah, he really is a specialist. I mean, he's not going to be in a kickboxing match with anybody.
No, but he does well enough. He can hurt you. He's got good skills on the feet, but he knows where he wants to get. He wants to grapple, he wants to ground and pound and look for your neck.
I just can't remember anybody handling Diego on the ground this easy.
3 of 4 for Chiesa on the takedowns thus
Big
far.
elbows.
Yeah, he's getting smashed.
And the way he's stacking, it's just like,
look at that. Just punch after punch.
Yeah.
And he has barely missed. The number's
just
unofficial,
flowing.
but
Yeah, as Diego moves, he just follows them.
Yep.
He just follows them, he adjusts. He's going to get that left leg stretched out. Diego's going to try to sweep him with that. This is what we'll find out whether Diego can do anything. Because he's in the way he's got that left leg, that can help him if he can elevate. And he's going to try to attack that leg now.
All heavy.
but he might just put himself in a position where Chiesa can just start
Yes, but he's got that
hammering
left
away. He
straight
does have that knee. Mike does an adjustment.
Very
jumps over to the other
spun
side.
out, and then he's going to turn that into the body triangle. He's going to use that left leg. There it goes.
Keep working.
He's so calm here.
Man.
Just effort. Look at this. Flatten him out. Effort.
Go, Diego. Move. Fight back.
Beautiful work here from Chiesa.
I mean, Diego's eating. He's rolling over.
This is near the end, in my opinion, if he just keeps punching.
Sanchez trying to score him out, gives up the back again.
He's just got to flatten him out again. Nice job for Diego to at least turn to his butt so that he can take his back. He's just squeezing.
Diego, you got to beat him. He's not going to beat himself. Diego spun.
Wow. Now Sanchez operating off of Chiesa's back.
But Chiesa just effortlessly right back up to his feet where Diego is trying to control his body.
Yeah, Mike gets that wizard, turns into him.
He gets
back in a
that
good
wizard,
position.
and he's going to try to hip toss him.
Vegas crowd chanting for Diego Sanchez. He changes levels. Chiesa akin to it.
Look how beautiful he just spun there and went behind him. That was gorgeous. The long arm of Chiesa deep in on the left armpit of Diego, controlling his body.
Yeah, keep that pressure back towards us. Elbows here.
And he's just overwhelming Diego.
Think about the Kimura. Think about it.
He's looking for that arm on the far side.
Give it a look.
He's got it locked up.
He's got a Kimura.
Diego spins through it.
But he's going to use that to take the back, and he may use it
Hold on to it.
to threaten with a choke or to try to transition again to an armbar. But he's got that Kimura lock on that left arm.
10 seconds.
He may dig in that left heel and try to pop this out with a couple seconds to go. He's just going to hold to the bell.
Stop.
As his coach Rick Little asked him to do. 2 rounds for Chiesa.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, look at Michael Chiesa all over Diego Sanchez on the feet, and then immediately grabs those legs, effortless takedowns. Almost effortless control on the ground. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, the way he's flowing through these positions. You know, Diego will have a moment where he escapes from something. It looks like he's maybe working on his own takedown, but look at that. Like you said, Joe, just beautifully spins around and is immediately trying to lock something up. He doesn't just spin, okay, got a position. He's either on your neck, he's getting wrist control, looking for a Kimura. He's always attacking. When his ground and pound's even amazing.
Okay, but it's time. No more playing. You got to go 100. Give it all. That's it. That's it. That's what it is.
That's what you call non-advice.
Yeah,
He was going 100. I mean, there's nothing you could say to him at this point.
Round 3 is brought to you by P3, the official protein snack of UFC. Well, Sanchez has certainly seen it all. No one has been able to submit him. Not Michael Chiesa yet, despite his best efforts. Sanchez has had a lot of memorable round 3s in his UFC career. We'll see if he can rally here.
He certainly has, but Chiesa's not even remotely tired.
Right.
And this is what concerns me, the effortless domination that Michael Chiesa has in manipulating Diego's body. He's just throwing him around. And whenever Diego tries to adjust, Michael's like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I'm going to keep you right here.
I want to be on top of you, choking you and beating on you and stretching your arms out. Look at that. He's got his arms wrapped up in a crucifix position. The right arm's trapped but by his legs. He's going behind him. And he just has so much confidence in his ability to flow that he's able to just move around.
Yeah, and the way he's controlling the wrists and the arms, Diego, he can't ever really get a solid position, get in on a leg. Like right here, he has a leg for a second, but Mike's already working on that right arm, me, left arm.
And it's just the way he's able to control everything. Oh, he's got that arm. He's got that arm only with one arm now. Look, he's holding it with one arm. But look at this. See, as soon as Diego tries to adjust, he's like, nope. I mean, it's like watching a black belt roll with a blue belt. It really is. It's like he's playing, like he's having fun. No big movements, nothing's exploding. Everything's just flowing and easy and effortless technique.
Well, you know, Diego, he's a veteran. He's been in there many times, but he made some big switches very close to this fight. Doesn't really have much of a corner with him. Makes you wonder what's going on in there.
Yeah.
Nemiroff, bold character since 1872, and many of you, I think, saw that big welt on the backside of the head of Diego Sanchez, who has been largely dominated by Michael Chiesa here through about 12 minutes.
Yeah, it's hard to tell with the adjustment for the new camp what kind of training partners he was having. Because it seems like...
Doesn't seem like any,
yeah,
to be honest.
Well, Chiesa certainly presents a unique challenge, and if he gets through this one tonight, maybe he draws a ranked opponent next. Just a very unorthodox fighter and grappler that could pose some problems going forward.
Well, the real question is, like, can he submit him? Because he's trying, but like right there, looking for the triangle from the top, but Diego pops his head out. Diego's, I mean, he's resilient. Very, very resilient. But what I would like to see is Chiesa try to finish him here. Like, really make a concerted effort to finish him, not just continue to dominate him, but that would be a giant feather in his cap to not just beat Diego,
right,
but to tap him.
To be the first man to submit Diego Sanchez would be something. Elbow there for Sanchez, but one and done.
It's not like he's trying. I mean, Mike he's trying.
Yeah, he certainly is.
But the longer this fight goes, the sweatier they get. Diego's crafty as they come.
That's great, but the neck. The thing about sweaty is you can
that's
kind
true.
of get under the neck.
It actually helps you slide under there.
The crazy thing is blood. Blood helps more than anything.
Move that position.
Yeah, no matter how much you keep your chin down, if you're bleeding on your face.
Yeah, it's grease.
Yeah.
Well, Chiesa has the back here. He's opening him up.
He's got wrist control as well.
Yeah.
Just a great position
nice
for Chiesa.
Well, and he's got the cardio now at 70. Not that he didn't at 55, but he's barely breathing heavy.
Oh, he's so much healthier. Oh, man, look how he's got that arm wrapped up.
Yeah, gift wrapped up there. Nice little present for him. He's got to open it now.
I mean, he's just taking these...
There he goes. He's working, man.
Yeah, just flowing in these positions.
Diego's just so damn tough, dude. He's
But
so
occasionally,
tough.
Diego does pop his head up. And there's these brief openings where Michael might be able to slide his arm under that chin. But either way, there is not a question in the world as to who's winning this fight.
Yeah, I'd like to see what the scorecards are going to be on this.
Yeah, I mean, you could easily make a case that every round was a 10-8. Yeah.
I think it would be.
Yes, I think so. Especially now that Nevada has adopted the new rules. And I like the fact that they're allowing the use of replay, instant replay throughout the fight.
Right.
That's great.
He's got 28 seconds.
He's trying, but now he's limited in his ability to pull back because of where his body is in the cage. Even if he does get the neck, he's trying. He's trying to get under there. But, man, Diego's got good defense. He's cranking that neck now. Oh, he's really cranking up.
Let him go.
So Diego Sanchez was not going to be submitted tonight despite the best efforts of Michael Maverick Chiesa, who dominates from the touch of gloves to the horn as he tries to continue his welterweight winning streak. This fight replay is brought to you by Nemiroff. Bold character since 1872. Paul, it was all Chiesa here tonight.
Absolute dominance from Michael Chiesa from bell to bell. Looked like he was going to get a finish a couple times. Had Diego flattened out here, landing some beautiful ground and pound, looking for rear naked chokes, looking for Kimuras. His stand-up was sharp. Had Diego up against the fence, landing combinations, getting takedowns over and over again in this fight. No matter where it went, it was the Chiesa show tonight. Mike wasn't able to put him away, but that was a dominant performance over a very resilient and tough Diego Sanchez.
All right, these fighter stats brought to you by Poker Stars. Pound for pound, the greatest online poker experience in the world. Take on the best to win millions of prizes every day on Poker Stars. 125-42. A lot of those significant strikes on the ground tonight. Takedowns 5-1 for Michael Chiesa, who controlled the fight for north of 11 minutes. The official decision is brought to you by Metro by T-Mobile. Catch all the action with Metro by T-Mobile and never miss a knockout with their reliable network and unlimited data. With those scorecards, which should be wide, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges scored this contest 30-26 for the winner by unanimous decision, Michael Maverick Chiesa!
I'm here with the winner, Michael Chiesa. First of all, congratulations on a truly dominant performance. This was really a showcase of your grappling talent here tonight.
Yeah, man, Diego's a tough guy. Thought I had him in the second. I went for it. Dude, he took me to some deep water. I'm pretty tired.
A real question in this fight was, how the hell did you ever make 155 pounds? Because you look so big at 170 now.
I did it, but with sheer stupidity. I'm fighting a lot smarter now. This is my division. Top 10 next. I won't accept anything less.
Well, 2 fights in a row at 170 against 2 real world-class opponents in Carlos Condit and now Diego Sanchez. How happy are you with your performance here tonight?
Very pleased. I wanted to finish. I'm a finisher. Every fight I've ever won by decision in the UFC, I've won 10-8 rounds. Pretty sure I did that tonight. I want somebody in the top 10. I usually have a name. I don't tonight because I didn't want to look past Diego. I do have a name in mind. Shout out to my friend Jess Roskell. You passed away. This one's for you and your family. And to Braden, my buddy who's here tonight. You know where you're at. Thank you, everybody. I love you, Mom.
Well, you certainly deserve a top-ranked opponent. I hope you get one next, sir. Congratulations.
Joe, can I have tickets to your Portland show in August?
Yes.
Thank you.
Michael Chiesa, ladies and gentlemen.
That's clever, right? Not asking for a spot on the Joe Rogan Experience,
No,
asking for tickets
man.
in Portland, Oregon. Well played by Michael Chiesa, who all of a sudden has some serious welterweight momentum, back-to-back wins over Carlos Condit, and now the newly minted UFC Hall of Famer, Diego Nightmare Sanchez. Well, speaking of star power, Oscar-winning actress Halle Berry front and center, octagon side here tonight for UFC 239. Francis Ngannou off a big win over Junior Dos Santos last Saturday night. And the now 2-division UFC champion, the messenger, Henry Cejudo, the 8-time NBA All-Star, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA. Dwight Howard in the building tonight for UFC 239. UFC 239, Jones versus Santos, is brought to you by Modelo Especial. Since 1925, we've proved that it doesn't matter where you come from, it matters what you're made of. Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. Metro by T-Mobile. Catch all the action with Metro by T-Mobile and never miss a knockout with their reliable network and unlimited data. By P3, the official protein snack of UFC. And by San Manuel Casino, with the most slots on the West Coast. Visit sanmanuel.com for all thrill details.
Max Holloway might be one of the best pound-for-pound fighters ever.
This is what I was born to do. It's why the best is blessed.
But Frankie Edgar is truly one of the greatest fighters of all time. It's my favorite kind of fight. Both these guys want to finish this fight and walk away the champion. Chris Cyborg is the scariest woman that's ever fought in MMA. She's so dominant.
Bless Arrow, baby, let's go!
The best featherweight king of all time.
That king gotta defend his throne. Come see me!
This is the fight for him to cement his legacy.
I want that title. I'm coming for that belt. Let's go, Holloway.
Chris Cyborg is one of the most devastating punchers in all of women's MMA.
Alicia Spencer, former Invicta champion, undefeated, but can just stay that way.
It's about to go down.
This is my time.
Now, when you look at this card, Frankie Edgar, you want to talk about a veteran. You want to talk about a guy who was former lightweight champion and now competing at the weight class at 145 pounds, where I think he should have been all along, taking on Max Holloway, I think, at the perfect time. Max Holloway coming off of that loss against Dustin Poirier. It's the first loss in a long time for him. Chris Cyborg facing Felicia Spencer, who's a real submission artist. I mean, those are 2 fantastic matchups right there.
We got Jeff Neal and Nico Price. We are loaded. The rare 2 pay-per-view month here in July. We'll see you in Edmonton 3 weeks from tonight. And we are also happy at this time to reveal some dates and locations for live events in the fourth quarter of 2019. October 26th, the Octagon returns to Singapore Indoor Stadium for a UFC Fight Night. Holm, you may recall, had a big night in that building just 2 years ago. Well, there have been a lot of big nights at New York's famed Madison Square Garden. We will be back there for UFC 244. That is Saturday, November 2nd, as the Octagon returns to MSG for the fourth consecutive year in the month of November. 2 weeks later, UFC Fight Night will be live from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Ibirapuera Gymnasium plays host to a Fight Night on November 16th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That one is on ESPN+. And that will bring us to our final pay-per-view of 2019. It'll be Saturday, December 14th, and we'll be right back here at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Prelims on ESPN2 leading into the pay-per-view for UFC 245. For the rest of our Q4 schedule and locations, go to UFC.com/events or check out all our myriad UFC social channels. All right, these fighter odds brought to you by PokerStars. Pound for pound, the greatest online poker experience in the world. Take on the best to win millions of prizes every day on PokerStars. We have seen some line movement here. Luke Rockhold getting some money put on him now. A little bit more swollen, minus 250. Jan Blachowicz coming back at plus 200. With that, right back to the live action here. First of two big ones tonight in this 205-pound division. Well, Luke Rockhold reached the top of the mountain at 185 pounds. Now he's chasing a title at light heavyweight, and that journey begins here with a fight against ranked contender Jan Blachowicz. A top middleweight for over a decade, former world champion Luke Rockhold enters unfamiliar waters tonight. And while he's confident he will eventually hit pay dirt and strike gold a second time as a light heavyweight, Poland's Jan Blachowicz is here to spoil Rockhold's party.
It's not about fighting Jan, it's just about fighting. At my best, at light heavyweight, where I belong.
Luke is really good fighter, really good sportsman. And when I beat him, I'm gonna be, on the top again.
As soon as Jan Blachowicz entered the Octagon for the first time in 2014, it was clear he was among the best 205-pounders in the world. And several wins later, that belief has only gotten stronger. Now with wins in 4 of his last 5, Blachowicz hopes to use a W over Luke Rockhold as his springboard into the title race.
Luke, he is former champion, but I don't care, I would like to be the champion. If I want to be the champion, I have to beat champions.
A former UFC and Strikeforce middleweight champion whose wins list includes Chris Weidman, Michael Bisping, Lyoto Machida, and Jacare Souza, Luke Rockhold could rest on his laurels, but by making the move to light heavyweight, the Californian is making a statement that he is more determined than ever to get back to the top of the heap.
My goal here is to win and fight the best and take the gold.
Making his light heavyweight debut tonight, Luke Rockhold told me weigh-in day at 205 was actually a pleasant experience. Not only does he feel better physically, but the former middleweight champion also feels better mentally. He said he used to worry about being able to perform come Saturday night after a rough weight cut. But he feels like this will be his division. He feels like he will be the best fighter yet. And don't worry, he will have a trio of coaches from Florida in his corner, but he assured me his ties to AKA are still strong.
All right, Megan, thank you very much. At one point, when Luke Rockhold was in that middleweight prime, a lot of us thought skill for skill, this was maybe the best or most complete 185-pound fighter we had ever seen. But man, did he have to cut a lot of weight. This is a massive frame, and it's going to be interesting to see how he fares tonight against a top 10 guy in this light heavyweight division.
Well, just like we saw with Michael Chiesa, these fighters that do dehydrate themselves to make that weight class, oftentimes they're doing themselves a disservice. I mean, it worked out well for him for years, but he felt like it's time to move up, and he certainly has the frame for 205 pounds. One of the things that's interesting in this fight to me is that Jan Blachowicz is a grappling specialist. Well, I think Luke Rockhold has some of the best top game I've ever seen inside the Octagon. When he held down Chris Weidman like that and beat him up, what he did to Lyoto Machida was like a crime. It was horrific to watch. His top game's outstanding. His striking is excellent. He's long and tall. He's a great size for this division, and I'm really curious to see how he performs tonight.
Absolutely. He is massive for 205 pounds. And he's got a sleeve on that shin, still covering that up. I think that's a smart move on his part if he's allowed to wear that. Good call there for Luke to keep that protected in this fight.
Yeah, he suffered
an injury
Yeah, and it got nasty infection. He's got a scar for life, but he's excited to be back tonight. We're excited he is back. Well, Jan Blachowicz took part in his first UFC main event in Prague back in February against Thiago Santos. It was the first time he'd ever been stopped in the UFC, and had he won that fight, it's not out of the realm of possibility that he'd be the one fighting for the belt tonight. He is confident tonight. He has catered his entire training camp to Luke Rockhold. Clean bill of health. We'll see how it fares for Jan Blachowicz tonight.
Oh, yeah, I mean, all it takes for him to do is come in here and beat a star and somebody as well known as Luke Rockhold to put himself right back in that picture, because that's what Luke is saying. He thinks with the win over Blachowicz, that's going to put him right into the title picture. So you figure Blachowicz has got to be feeling the same way, and this is his division. He's been working and fighting all these guys at 205 his entire career, so he should have the size advantage. But when you look at Luke, man, I don't know if that's going to be the case tonight. But he's at least used to fighting these bigger guys more often and feeling the power of the light heavyweight division.
Yeah, I think that's the key. That he's a legit light heavyweight. He's been a light heavyweight for a long time, and he knows what it's like to fight against these bigger guys. For Luke, there's some question marks. But what we do know about Blachowicz is he's a very tough guy, very aggressive, and his ground game is excellent.
Yes, very good jab as well. He'll stick that out, pepper you with that. Very well-rounded, good movement. Excited for this one.
And Blachowicz does believe he has some advantages on the feet tonight. Certainly said he's mindful of that powerful left leg, the lead leg of Luke Rockhold. But Jan Blachowicz took exception to a lot of people thinking Rockhold was going to have a walkover tonight. Blachowicz and Rockhold just about ready to go. This Tale of the Tape brought to you by Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. Blachowicz, 36 years old. Luke Rockhold is 34. Rockhold, the taller man by 1 inch. Both fighters successfully making weight. Blachowicz will have a reach advantage of 1 inch. All right, now for the introductions. Back inside to Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC light heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 16 wins, 4 losses. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 204 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Santa Cruz, California, presenting the former Strikeforce middleweight champion and the former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Luke And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 23 wins, 8 losses. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 205 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Warsaw, Poland, presenting the number 6 ranked light heavyweight contender in the world, Jan Blachowicz. And we have to begin on referee Herb Dean.
Herb Dean is back in there for this one. Brittany Palmer, thank you very much. Ready to go here, round 1 of a possible 3 in the UFC's light heavyweight division. Winner conceivably could have an inside track on a future title fight against John Jones. This fight clock is brought to you by Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. Blachowicz is in red, Rockhold out of the southpaw stance is in blue.
Rockhold just opening up with those high kicks, power kicks from that left side. There's that front kick right down the middle. Man, he is heavily favoring that left kick.
Yeah, Blachowicz has got to do something to stop it.
There's a shot.
He's in deep. He's got his hands locked.
Blachowicz is a
doing
great
good job.
grappler. And it's interesting that Luke chose to test his grappling ability, because that is Blachowicz' strength. I think Luke on the outside, using his striking, he should have an advantage, at least on paper.
With that kick, that left kick of his is so destructive.
And it's going to be interesting to see how many athletic commissions let him keep that wrap on his leg.
Well, even the ankle wraps, a lot of commissions won't even let you wear those. They certainly do here in Nevada. Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, starring Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham, in theaters August 2nd.
The sleeve is coming off already.
Right.
It's sliding
that
down.
might be a problem.
Yeah, what is underneath that? Is just a massive scar?
Yes. Yeah, from staph infections.
Oh, you can see Band-Aids on it. It's taped from staph infection.
He's down.
Yeah, he's cleared now, but it's kept reoccurring, and he was having a lot of surgeries and cleaning it out. It was a really big problem for him.
Luke's got to hold the neck.
Yeah.
He's trying to drag him down. I'm really surprised that he's taking this tactic. I thought he would be fighting on the outside, throwing kicks.
And Blachowicz doing a great job of staying on his feet so far, making Luke work.
Yes.
Rockhold did tell us he was not impressed with Blachowicz' cardiovascular system, so perhaps trying to tire him out here a little bit early. Nice elbow from Jan.
Good elbow. Now, Luke has been overconfident in the past, and he paid dearly in the Michael Bisping fight. He almost had disdain for Michael Bisping striking until Bisping rang that bell.
Right. Luke, keep your hand inside the cage.
Blachowicz working the body here with his back up against the fence. We have crossed the midpoint of round one.
Yeah, Luke really just pressing on him here.
Yeah, I mean, he seems hell-bent to get him to the ground, which again is a curious decision.
Yeah, because Blachowicz, fantastic.
Oh!
Nice elbow in tight there from Blachowicz.
That was on the button, too.
See, he's framing out, pushing away with that hand, and as Luke tries to close the distance, he just lets... Oh, nice left hand. He shakes his head, but it landed, Luke. Look for that left kick. There it goes.
Glanced off the head of Blachowicz there.
Ooh, nice check there.
Yeah.
And with the shin issues for Rockhold, that's good from Blachowicz to be able to... Nice job. He's going after it now.
Yeah, Rockhold switched stances. And Blachowicz recognized that and attacked.
Good front kick. And what that says to me for Luke is it's exactly that. If he's going front kick from his left leg to the body, he's looking to set up that question mark kick.
It could also mean that he just doesn't want to hit that shin again. I mean, we don't know what he's feeling on that shin from all that surgeries and staph infection.
And also he's carrying a whole lot more muscle right now, Joe. We don't know how he's feeling at 205 pounds. This is his 205 debut in the UFC.
Right. And he cut about 20 pounds too, down from 225 or so.
Yeah, he's a big boy in there right now. Whoop, nice block there. Wonder how the forearms are feeling from Blachowicz, because he's eating a few of those right on that right arm. But so far, holding up. Nice check again there from Blachowicz. He's seeing these kicks come up more and more and sliding out of the way or blocking them very nicely.
Ooh. Rockhold has loaded up on that high left kick a couple times.
Nice right hand.
He got tagged with that one.
He's got his respect now.
And he's whipping that left hand as well, just missed the chin.
Rockhold keeping that guard low, paid for it there. Final 10 seconds of the round.
Nice front kick there from Rockhold.
He got hurt at the buzzer. He got his bell rang. Hit him in the back of the head with that kick. Let's listen to it and find out when that happened.
Throw you around. Think about what we
Yeah, it was after the bell.
Don't stop fighting. Don't stop fighting.
Looks like the commission is going to talk to Herb Dean here for a second.
Huh? At the bell. The kick was initiated at the bell, not after.
Let's go.
All right, Herb Dean ruling that it happened at the horn, not after.
That it was initiated before,
prior.
and then the horn rang, and he continued with it. We don't know how badly Luke was hurt with that, but it looked like he was dropped.
Rockhold presses forward.
Oh, Rockhold got tagged there.
He did.
He got tagged. Now he's moving back.
Rockhold with a wry smile. Not much to smile about over the last couple of
Nice
minutes.
inside kicks there from Blachowicz.
Blachowicz with a small cut on the bridge of his nose, but he is a picture of focus here.
Blachowicz doing a great job of attacking those legs.
Like you said, John, when we talked to Blachowicz, he said he tends to keep his hands down. And Blachowicz, nice inside kick. Oh, man.
He's chopping at those calves.
He's got to watch blocking like that. It'll break his forearm. He's got to try to double on block those left kicks from Rockhold. They're too powerful.
Rockhold thought about a takedown, closes the distance, takes a knee. Nice job defensively by Blachowicz.
He's going to look for a knee. I don't know what we're going here, guys. We've had some pretty good action here in this fight. We've seen some nice elbows in this clinch position from Blachowicz. Taking his underhooks, good job here. He's got double underhooks now.
With so much time being spent.
Stops Luke Rockhold in his tracks.
What a result, what a win. Biggest by a mile in the career of Jan Blachowicz. And that has got to feel good. Showboated a little bit after the fact. He had to absorb a lot of that Rockhold venom during fight week. Blachowicz gets the last laugh tonight.
Boy, that was a bomb that he landed.
Well, let's take a look back at it. This fight replay is brought to you by Nemiroff, bold character since 1872.
So this is the end of the first round. This is the bell, and when Luke Rockhold gets dropped. But now let's take a look at the end. Oh my goodness. That is a picture perfect left hand to the chin on the break. And you know, you could tell Luke was done from the moment he went down. Let's take a look at it again. Boom! The head snaps back. His eyes were all over the place when he got up. Could not focus. Eyes rolled back behind his head. Sweet revenge for Jan Blachowicz. One more time. Bang! Woo. That's a big, big knockout win. This is us.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know why I hold people. I hold you back.
Yeah,
Really,
don't stand up.
Dive in.
I like it. I like
what
it.
I'm doing.
What a monumental result for Poland's Jan Blachowicz tonight. Immediately puts himself right back into light heavyweight title contention. A man who absolutely loves martial arts, still feels the fire, and putting his Muay Thai background to good use tonight. The official decision brought to you by Metro by T-Mobile. Catch all the action with Metro by T-Mobile and never miss a knockout with their reliable network and unlimited data. To wrap this one up, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean's called a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 39 seconds of round number 2. Declaring the winner by knockout, Jan Blachowicz.
I'm here with the winner, Jan Blachowicz. This was a huge, huge win for you. And how satisfying was it giving all the trash talk that you had to absorb leading up to this fight?
You know, the trash talk not working on me. I'm too old for this. I'm from Poland. I showed the legendary Polish power, and I'm proud of that.
Let's take a look at that Polish power. On the clinch, you caught him, on the break rather, you caught him with this perfect left hook on the button. When he went down, did you know it was over?
I see this left hook all the time in my dreams. When I make my, mentality training, I see this and I knew that it will come.
Now, there was a moment at the end of the first round where the bell rang as you were initiating a kick and you landed it to the back of his head. How much of a factor do you think that was? It did drop him.
A little bit, of course, because he was a little bit dizzy after this kick.
This has got to be a big, big victory for you. How happy are you with this, and where do you think this puts you in the light heavyweight division now?
Well, I hope so. I hope so. That's on the top, you know. There was rumors that if he won against me, he's gonna have title shot. I win against him, so maybe, who knows?
Well, congratulations, sir, on an outstanding performance. Jan Blachowicz, ladies and gentlemen.
In Polish. Chciałem podziękować polskim kibicom, bo wiem, że tu jesteście. Dziękuję za wsparcie. Dziękuję polskim kibicom za to, że tu przyjechali i mnie wspierali. I thank all of the world. Thank you.
I married a Polish woman, but respectfully, I have no idea what Jan Blachowicz said. Probably something celebratory after a massive win for Blachowicz. He was 0-2 in the U.S., 0-1 in Vegas. Turned that around in a big way tonight. Congrats to Jan. Well, the UFC star power in full force tonight. This one's got heat. Robert Whittaker, the middleweight champion, the interim champion Israel Adesanya. They have a date October 5th. And we await the first title defense of the new welterweight champ, Kamaru Usman. We're here already. These locker room shots brought to you by P3, the official protein snack of UFC. Fan favorite Jorge Masvidal really turned the MMA world on its axis with his stunning knockout of Darren Till. That was back in March in London. Tonight, Gamebred faces a decidedly different challenge in the form of the Olympic wrestler Ben Askren. He got past Robbie Lawler with a bulldog choke in his UFC debut. Now he will look to continue his welterweight ascent tonight. All right, now time to check in with Forrest Griffin and the most exciting online pre-fight show, Metro by T-Mobile's Purple Couch, where they pair up fast unlimited data with fast unlimited predictions.
What's up, guys? Forrest Griffin here with Anthony Smith and Kazangana on the Purple Couch for some fight predictions. Tonight's main event, Anthony, who you got?
I'm going to go with John Jones. I don't think that Thiago brings anything that John can't handle.
I'm going to give it to Amanda Nunes. She's constantly improving. She's on a very dominant streak right now, and I just see her taking it to Holly.
Now let's check in on Twitter and see what your main event predictions are. Brandon from Dallas has Jones with a knockout hands down, while Melissa from New York City says Thiago knocks Jones out with one punch in the first 30 seconds. Gutsy call. That's all from the Purple Couch. Can't wait to see whose predictions become reality.
And you can catch the Metro by T-Mobile Purple Couch live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube before some of the biggest fights all year long. Thanks for cleaning up, Forrest. Who doesn't need more Forrest Griffin in their life, though, right? All right, well, Season 3 of Dana White's Contender Series, as many of you know, is off to a strong start. And Paul Felder, already several UFC contracts have been handed out, and deservedly so, I might add.
Yes. Now, you see, Puna, man, this Puna got picked up because Dana saw in him his finishing instincts. He didn't get it done as clean as he wanted, but he did a great job. And this season, we're seeing a lot of guys facing higher competition. So we're seeing more decisions. We're seeing guys have to work and show their more well-rounded skill sets. Whereas the first two seasons, I feel like there were some matchups where guys were getting big knockouts, getting big finishes, but much more competition this year on this season.
All right, so the Contender Series resumes this Tuesday, July 9th. Here's a look at that 5-fight card, including a featured bout in the lightweight division between Jesse Wallace and Joseph Selecki. You can see it all go down live from UFC Apex, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on ESPN Plus this Tuesday, July 9th. All right, Joe Rogan, our welterweight rankings 1 through 5. New World Order as of March 2nd. They're all chasing Kamaru Usman, but Masvidal and Askren are right there.
What a murderer's row. I mean, has this division ever been stronger? Of course, you have the former champion who wants to get back in there, Tyron Woodley. Colby Covington's waiting, Dos Anjos, and he and Robbie Lawler. Colby Covington will go at it. Jorge Masvidal and Ben Askren, though, could play a gigantic part in this division with tonight's fight. If one person wins and wins in spectacular fashion, they could easily leapfrog one of these other people ahead of them. I think Jorge Masvidal's time is here. Right. And he has never looked better, but he's got to get past the crazy wrestling that Ben Askren presents. He's such a unique puzzle, undefeated, and everybody is curious to see who's going to be the guy to put the first loss in his column.
Right, and if Masvidal can be that guy, maybe give him a Lifetime Achievement Award and give the guy a damn title fight. These fighter odds brought to you by PokerStars. Pound for pound, the greatest online poker experience in the world. Take on the best to win millions of prizes every day on PokerStars. Askren, the favorite, as you'd expect, minus 230. Jorge Masvidal, a live underdog, according to many, in the plus 185 range tonight. Well, that knockout of Darren Till certainly put Masvidal on a title track. He will now try to pin a loss on the unbeaten pro record of one of the best welterweights in the world, funky Ben Askren.
Uh-oh. He's going under the chin. Almost. He's got his head, though. He's got a bulldog choke. Oh, he's going out. He's out. He's out. He's out.
Ben Askren submits Robbie Lawler.
Oh, he's not out.
Protest.
Oh, my God. He wasn't out. Oh, my God. Oh, no.
Declaring the winner by submission, Ben
Hey, guys, you can boo. I'm not the freaking referee, is all it comes down to. Well, you know, I want to know. Hey, Dana, is that really the best you got? Bring him, baby.
I don't like the dude at all. I met him a long time ago. There's not too many people that I genuinely dislike. He's one of them. He's a punk. Robbie didn't go to sleep. You see the replay, and you see that he has a thumbs up. I never seen somebody sleeping like that. I would say, let's do it again. I'm gonna f you up. But he's a weasel. He's a punk here already. Before they even brought that up, he said, no, not a chance, not doing it.
Considering the way it ended, would you be open to a rematch?
Not really. You know, what's the point?
Why? Why? Because you're not a man. You're a punk, and the bitch in you will be brought out.
Right now, I got a plane ticket to London. Till versus Masvidal. I think the winner of that's probably going to be top 3. And that's who I'd like to fight.
Main event time here at London's O2 Arena.
Am I fighting him after this fight? No, because I'm fighting for the title. But I will break his face at some point.
Oh, he's still... He's out!
What a finish for Jorge Masvidal!
Jorge Masvidal gets a massive knockout win here in London.
I need that belt wrapped around my waist. I don't want none of these petty dudes that are just calling my name getting noticed on social media. I'm here to fight the best in the world, and that's whoever the champ is right now.
It was pretty obvious to me why George didn't want to fight me. We grappled against each other. Now, it was a decade ago. But he felt what I felt like, and he knows this is a really bad idea. He's going to get beat up.
That's just training. I don't give a about that.
Oh!
Like, none of that matters. I'm going to wipe the floor with him. I want to break his face, man.
Oh! Eats a huge elbow there, and that's going to be it. Jorge Masvidal!
I can dominate George because my wrestling and my grappling is so far superior to what he has. And the thing that has to make most of the division even more nervous, I can take a big shot.
Oh!
He hurt him!
Oh!
He hurt him with that dump! He hurt him with that dump!
I'm just going to keep coming forward, and I'm going to get you, and I'm going to take you down, and then I'm going to do what I want to you.
He's out! He's out!
Ben knows me personally on a personal level, and he knows I'm a up man. Ben could expect to get his ass whooped.
The key to winning this fight for me is as simple as getting my hands on it. I'm going to execute on the techniques I need to execute on, and when I do that, it's going to be an easy win for me.
So here's the number 5 ranked welterweight in the world, Ben Askren. He has injected so much energy and flavor into this welterweight division since signing with the UFC. I know you campaigned for him for a long time. Truly one of the better collegiate wrestlers this country has ever seen. Represented the United States in 2008 in freestyle wrestling. And tonight, taking on a very well-rounded mixed martial artist in Jorge Masvidal.
I can't tell you how happy I am this guy's in the UFC. It was a shame that he was locked out. It was a shame. He's one of the rare undefeated welterweights in the world with a very, very unusual style. One of the last true specialists. You're not going to see Ben Askren in a kickboxing match. He's going to grab you and squeeze your head. He's going to put that grip strength on you, and you're going to get confused. He's going to hit you with that funk, that weird wrestling, and you're not going to know what to do. That's what makes him so interesting. And he's been able to do that to so many world-class fighters outside the octagon. Now we get to see him fight the best of the best in the UFC.
Absolutely. Ben is a freak of nature when it comes to the grappling and the wrestling. And like we talked about, it's so unorthodox and different. It's Ben's funky style. It's what he does. It's what makes him unique. And I'm excited to see how he handles it against somebody who's been in this octagon many times, like Jorge Masvidal.
in the streets and making the walk for his 47th professional fight here tonight, 17th in the UFC, Jorge Gamebred Masvidal.
This guy has so much experience and so much technique. And one of the things that people sleep on is his wrestling defense. He's got outstanding takedown defense, and this last knockout that he had against Darren Till, the way he set it up, that switching stances and landing that left hook, boom, on the button, and to KO a seasoned striker like Darren Till is nothing short of phenomenal. He's really coming into his own in these last couple of years of fighting.
Man, to be in that arena and hear that crowd go silent when he put Darren Till down like that, it's amazing. But I never counted him out of that fight. His boxing is so good, and he got hurt early in that fight. But Masvidal is a veteran. He's skillful. He's got good fight IQ. He's been more aggressive lately, which was something that bothered him in his past fights, where he would be up ahead and kind of coast.
One point of comparison for a lot of people coming in has been Damian Maia. Different fighter, different style than Ben Askren, but certainly a guy that Masvidal has experience against. They went to a split decision back in 2017. Masvidal says Askren is even less of a striker than Damian Maia. All right, this tale of the tape is brought to you by Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. Both fighters 34 years of age, both fighters 5'11" tall, slight reach advantage for Jorge Gamebred Masvidal. All right, now for the introductions, back inside of Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is sponsored by Poker Stars. Play and win the gold octagon chip for a ridiculously cool prize. And now, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding an undefeated professional record. 19 wins, no losses, 1 no contest. He stands 5'11" tall, weighing in at 171 pounds. Fighting out of Heartland, Wisconsin, presenting the number 5 ranked welterweight contender in the world, Ben Funky Askren. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a boxer holding a professional record, 33 wins, 13 losses. He stands 5'11" tall, weighing in at 170.5 pounds. Fighting out of Miami, Florida, presenting the number 4 ranked welterweight contender in the world, Jorge Gamebred Masvidal. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Jason Herzog.
Jason Herzog back in there for this one. Ariane Celeste is here. Brittany Palmer, Brooklyn Wren also on hand. Gamebred is in the building. And these guys just flapping gums at each other any chance they get. The fight clock is brought to you by Modelo.
Masvidal just made a statement.
And he has just turned in the fastest knockout in UFC history.
What is that, 3 seconds?
5 seconds, wow. The official time.
Sorry, Dwayne Ludwig, he got you.
And it'll be interesting when you talk to Masvidal in terms of how much they talked about opening that way, just like that. Masvidal takes Ben Askren's O.
Ben is waking up. He doesn't know what happened yet. He's trying to get back up, and they're trying to keep him down. He's still out.
Let's take a look at it. This fight replay is brought to you by Nemirov, bold character since 1872.
Here it is in real time. My goodness.
So the fastest knockout in UFC history.
You know, he was out immediately. All this is academic. He could have they could have stopped it at 2 seconds. I mean,
right there.
That is, yeah, he's out cold. I mean, that is about as clean a flying knee as you will ever see. He anticipated Ben dropping down. Look at this. Ben drops down and goes into it as he's going for the legs. He anticipated it perfectly.
Oh,
I mean, that is straight out of Yoel Romero's book, right?
He's still really out, Joe.
Yeah, he's still out. That was a brutal, brutal knockout. I mean, he's still struggling to regain consciousness. He can't get back up to his feet.
The medical professionals and the referee attending to Ben Askren, but how good does that feel for Gamebred? A lifetime in the game, and if you were trying to make a statement to earn a shot at Kamaru Usman, you cannot make a bigger statement than that as Gamebred turns in a piece of UFC history tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that was a fireworks display. And Ben is trying to sit up now, but I mean, he should be carefully watched here. That was an absolutely brutal knockout. Not just the knockout, but the subsequent hammers that he received after he was out cold. 2 big power shots to the face of a completely unconscious guy.
And everyone in this arena is still standing in awe of what they just saw. These fighter stats are brought to you by PokerStars, pound for pound. The greatest online poker experience in the world. Take on the best to win millions of prizes every day on PokerStars, and there are your numbers. Fastest knockout in UFC history. It now belongs to Jorge Masvidal, and he did it against an undefeated fighter who had not lost in 20 pro fights.
Listen, if you're going to try to face somebody that you know is going to come on your legs eventually, and you're probably going to end up on your back no matter what happens, you might as well try to start the fight like Masvidal did, and holy cow, did it pay off. And I'm just hoping that Ben Askren is okay.
Nice to see Ben Askren get back to his feet. He came back out of retirement to try to pursue his dream to be the best in the world, and that goes by the boards here tonight for Ben Askren in a major, major way. Jorge Masvidal, can you imagine what type of celebration is going on in Miami right now? The official decision is brought to you by Metro by T-Mobile. Catch all the action with Metro by T-Mobile and never miss a knockout with their reliable network and unlimited data. To wrap this one up, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Jason Herzog has called a stop to this contest at 5 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by knockout, Jorge Gamebred Masvidal.
I'm here with the winner and the new owner of the fastest knockout in UFC history at 5 seconds. And Jorge, it really wasn't 5 seconds. It was about 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds. The other seconds was the referee getting to Ben and rescuing him.
You said it best. But I want to take this time on a personal. Thank God Almighty for this journey, man. It's been an amazing journey. 16 years I've been doing this at this level. I want to say hello to my daughter Ava, my son Macho Man, and Jade. I wasn't with them for 4th of July because I had to handle business. I love you. I'll be there soon to celebrate. And American Top Team, Dan Lambert, Steve Mako, Mike Brown, Molo Wall, Paulino Hernandez, Jesus Gallo, Johnny Eblin, Sidney Outlaw, Nate Coy. These are people that helped me make this moment possible. I really wanted to beat his ass for 14 minutes and 30 seconds, but it didn't get to happen. Whatever. Now back to business. I don't want to say nothing about Ben, so don't ask me nothing because I got nothing nice to say. So my mother told me if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say it. So we're going to skip Ben questions.
Jorge, the opening move, was this something that you had planned? Did you feel it in the moment? Did you anticipate him shooting? Why the flying knee?
Because he's a bum.
But let's take a look at it here. Did you know that he was going to try to duck down? Because as you time that, I mean, that is as perfect a flying knee as has ever been executed on planet Earth.
That dude was talking wild, man. You know, I had to show him that there's consequences sometimes. There's some bad motherfuckers out there and you don't want to wake them up. You should have kept your mouth shut. I probably would have beat you up in the 2nd round, you know, but I'm so happy though. I just want to thank God again for this journey. I'm coming for that belt. I don't know who's fighting next to it or whatnot, but you guys know who deserves that belt. That's 16 years of hard work. You guys know who deserves that belt, man. I'm here to fight. I'm not the best at cutting promos or the IG shit, but I can fight, man.
Congratulations, sir.
You guys are welcome for ending that dude.
Jorge Masvidal. Masvidal, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, man, can he fight. A fighter's fighter, a lifetime in the game. You got to feel good for Jorge Masvidal and Paul Felder. We're going to take another look at this hugely seminal moment, courtesy of the 4D. Here we go.
Look at this. I mean, he sprints full force, flying jump knee right to the side of Ben Askren's head. And the rest, as Joe said, wasn't even necessary. But the ref couldn't get there. Look at that. I mean, there's nothing to say. It was an idea that him and his team came up with. They executed it perfectly. And all the trash talk, you know, there was a lot going on between these two guys.
Well, there's the one. There's the one loss.
And there's Valentina, yeah, Bullet Shevchenko, the flyweight champion. Her next title defense coming up Saturday, August 10th. And with his Budweiser in hand, Donald Cowboy Cerrone, forever a fan favorite, Wiz Khalifa, Octagon side here tonight in Las Vegas, Nevada. All right, these locker room shots are brought to you by P3, the official protein snack of UFC. Amanda Nunes is a sniper. She has left a who's who of women's mixed martial arts royalty in her wake. Tonight, she will try to make good on her 4th defense of the bantamweight title against that woman, the division's former queen, Holly Holm. The preacher's daughter has won 2 of 3 to set up her 5th career shot at an undisputed UFC title. It's an opportunity she expects to cash in on in the co-headliner, which is coming up next. First, though, a sneak peek at the newest episode of Dana White Looking for a Fight.
You're an You're an if you jump in the water with a bunch of sharks. But I did it.
All right, come on. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
I start looking underwater. The water is this crazy blue, and you can see these shadows.
Go back in, everybody! So when I saw the boss man go in, I got my back. I found my Captain!
Yes, sir.
I found my Captain!
They were in your purse?
They were in my... Oh, Captain! Hi, guys!
Then all of a sudden, this shark just starts coming right at me.
That shark looked up, and we made eye contact. That thing was... Oh, that
Like when you see in the movie Jaws, how the sharks come straight up.
And I said, Aquaman, I'm out of here.
Same time, myself and Dana, we saw that. That is coming at us! Holy
Oh, no thanks. Never a dull moment in Florida. You can catch Dana, Matt, and Dean Thomas on an all-new episode of Dana White Looking for a Fight this Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on YouTube. Well, everyone is tuning in to UFC 239 here now. A live look inside Dave & Buster's in Las Vegas. World Traveler, UFC flyweight champion Valentina Shevchenko enjoying the fights. Perhaps a few Modelos with fans. She has certainly earned it. Man, she's always training. Just loves martial arts.
She's not stopping.
All right, so here's a look at the top 5 in the women's bantamweight division, Joe. We could see some serious movement in the next week to 10 days. Title fight tonight. And then, of course, you got Aspen Ladd and Jermaine Durand to be in a main event next weekend. All eyes on Holly Holm and Amanda Nunes, though, in a matter of moments.
This is the fight, because with Holly Holm, you have a woman who's already pulled off upsets. You got a woman who has an insane amount of experience both in boxing, kickboxing, and in MMA. And stylistically, she presents the most intriguing puzzle because she's so mobile, because she's such a great athlete, because she uses those long legs and the kicking techniques from the outside, the side kick, the question mark kick, the oblique kick to the thigh.
Right.
That's the big question. Can she push off? Can she keep away from Amanda and those big power punches? Because that is Amanda's biggest strength. But you also have to remember, Amanda is a legit black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well.
A lot of questions. We will get some answers here shortly. These fighter odds brought to you by Poker Stars. Pound for pound, the greatest online poker experience in the world. Take on the best to win millions of prizes every day on Poker Stars. No surprise, Amanda Nunes gets the distinction as the betting favorite, -400. Holly Holm, the +310 underdog tonight. Well, she's the double champ. She is Amanda Nunes. She holds a win over every women's bantamweight champ in UFC history except one. And Holly Holm has no intention of being added to the list of the Lioness.
have something inside my mind tell me I will be something great in the future. And I keep moving forward, give everything that I had to this sport. Believe. And now I'm here, the greatest all time.
Amanda Nunes is the first female Brazilian UFC champion.
Amanda Nunes has 3 times defended her UFC Women's Bantamweight title.
You have to want more. I decided to do something nobody ever did before.
Oh! She heard it!
Cyborg nearly out on her feet. Oh! Chris Cyborg out cold!
No one did it before.
The first female 2-division champion.
I did it. I am the greatest.
I told you! I'm the best on the planet!
The greatest female mixed martial arts fighter ever!
This is my life, and this is what I love to do. I'm going for the belt again, the very belt that I've had before.
Holly Holm is the new bantamweight champion of the world!
I want that back on my waist. That's all I'm focused on. That's the only goal I have in front of me right now. I know I'm capable, and I know I can do this.
So I kick knockout for the preacher's daughter. Stop her dead in her tracks. Holm is back.
Nasty ground and pound by the former bantamweight champion. You proved once again that you're one of the very best women's MMA fighters on the planet.
Holly's the only champion that I don't beat yet. She's gonna be the next.
I'm the champion here, Amanda Nunes, the Lions!
The greater the challenge, the greater the reward. I'm a different fighter than she's faced, so I'll be there and I'll be ready.
Holly's a good fighter, good kicks, good combos, and she's strong, but this is a bad matchup for her.
She's her bad!
I can take Holly down, I can knock her out, I can beat her everywhere.
Amanda Nunes has done it!
Amanda's tough. She's got some power punches, obviously. She's got a lot of knockouts on her record, but I truly feel I can beat her. I've got the skill, and I've got heart.
What a performance by Holly Holm!
I'm gonna win, July 6th.
The only thing that I know, my hand's gonna be raised. I'm gonna walk away with my belt, and still the double champion.
As it gets, here is the 2017 Women's Boxing Hall of Fame inductee, former UFC Women's Bantamweight champion, the preacher's daughter, Holly Holm. And a lot of people forget that she got a late start in MMA, didn't really focus on it full time until 2013, never even grappled until she was 29 years of age as Holly Holm hits the prep point here. Prep point brought to you by Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit.
Well, I think that's one of the things that makes this fight so interesting is because she's so striking based. Her striking has always been her strong suit. I mean, she's a woman that is an 18-time world boxing champion. She's won kickboxing titles, and her skill set is all about movement and striking and angles. And when you deal with a power striker like Amanda Nunes, that could play a big factor. Her athleticism as well. But you're looking at a girl right now stepping in this octagon that thinks she can shock the world.
Well, and she's proven it before, so there's no reason to doubt that she can do it. She's got the skill sets, she's got the experience, she's been in these higher pressure situations, she's been in even higher pressure situations, fighting Ronda in Australia, that sold-out arena, and then that head kick, this is what she's made for, Joe.
The last time, excuse me, Joe, she competed at bantamweight was 2017, the head kick knockout of Betch Kohea. Couple fights at featherweight, gave Cyborg a fight, beat Megan Anderson, and now returns here to 135 pounds.
I think she just took those fights at 45 for the opportunity because she's a real bantamweight. She doesn't have an issue making 135 pounds. This is her real weight class.
Well, as the great Brent Musburger would say, you are looking live at perhaps the greatest women's mixed martial arts fighter many of us have ever seen. She makes this walk tonight, the owner of 2 UFC championships. And Joe, it's really been the way she's done it that has set a new standard on which all future champions will be judged.
She murks women. That's what she does. She puts knuckles to people's faces, and you see the look in their eye like they've never been hit like that before. She's the owner of 3 firsts. First ever Brazilian women's champion, first gay UFC champion, and first double division women's champion. She's the greatest of all time. No question about it. The most dangerous. She can submit you on the ground. She can knock you dead on the feet. She's such an amazing athlete and such a role model for women's MMA. She's a wonderful person.
She is.
She couldn't be nicer. But man, you don't want to be locked inside that cage with that lady. That is the calm, collected face of a stone-cold killer.
And even now, she's all smiles. But like you said, Joe, once she's in there and knuckles are getting thrown, she's usually on the better end of that for sure. The power is ridiculous from this woman.
When she did that to Cyborg, I mean, that opened up a lot of people's eyes. We knew she had crazy power. But when you see Cyborg get hit with that power and stumble, and then get knocked out cold face planted, you're like, wow, she's special. She's really special.
In terms of her preparation, she has fought a southpaw in Valentina Shevchenko twice. She believes that is valuable experience coming in here tonight. She used strawweight contender Nina Ansaroff, her fiance, a lot. She fights out of that stance, so they feel like they've gotten those Holly Holm looks. We'll see how it goes in what is a different and unique challenge, I think, for Amanda Nunes tonight.
Well, here's another challenge. If she gets past Holly Holm, who?
Yeah.
Who's next? Who's there for her? She's kind of cleaned out the division.
She has said she would like, after this fight, if she wins, to move back up and defend the UFC Women's Featherweight title. We've got a big fight in that division coming up shortly here in July. But first order of business for the Brazilian Amanda Nunes, Holly Holm in her sights tonight in Las Vegas. All right, with that backdrop, this Tail of the Tape is brought to you by Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. Amanda Nunes, 31. Holly Holm is 37. Both women 5'8" tall. Identical reaches there of 69 inches. All right, for the introductions for our co-headliner, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this championship bout is sponsored by Motel 6. When you're ready to tap out, check in and save. We'll leave the light on for you. And Nemirov, bold character since 1872. Our 3 judges scoring this contest on Octagon side are Dave Hagan, Sally Amato, and Chris Lee. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon, Mark Goddard. And now, this fight is 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC Bantamweight Championship of the World. introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a kickboxer holding a professional record, 12 wins, 4 losses. She stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 133.5 pounds. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, presenting the number 2 ranked bantamweight contender in the world and the former UFC bantamweight champion, the challenger, Holly, the preacher's daughter, introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner, a striker holding a professional record, 17 wins, 4 losses. She stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 135 pounds. Fighting out of Coral Springs, Florida, by way of Bahia, Brazil, presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC bantamweight champion of the world, Amanda the Lioness Nunes.
Holly, Amanda, you know exactly what I expect. I want you to fight hard, please fight clean. When I tell you to stop, you will stop. If you want to touch, now's the time. God bless.
Wow, here we go. If you have never attended a live UFC event and a UFC championship fight, I'm not sure we can effectively communicate the electricity, the tension, the buzz in this building right now, elevated tremendously by what Jorge Masvidal did just a quarter of an hour ago. The UFC Women's Bantamweight Championship is on the line. This fight clock is brought to you by Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. Holly Holm in the gray trunks is out of the southpaw stance. Amanda Nunes in the black and gold, befitting a champion.
Look for Holly to kick on the outside, side kicks to the thigh, oblique kicks, and that question mark kick, which is one of her staple techniques. It's one of the best techniques she has in her arsenal. She sneaks that round kick around your shoulder and clangs you in the side of the head with it.
Nemiroff, bold character since 1872. Nunes has certainly had some quick fights. She was extended to a 5th round by Raquel Pennington last May. And that has certainly got to be part of Holly Holm's approach tonight, to try to take Nunes into deep waters.
Oh, Holly tagged her as she was going for that inside leg kick.
It's such a very dangerous kick to go for if you don't throw anything in front of it to get them to think about it. If you just go inside, you're so available for that counter.
The footwork and the movement of Holly is one of the reasons why I think this fight is interesting. And there's that front leg side kick to the thigh. But that movement is gonna avoid those brawls in which Amanda Nunes excels. That's where she shines. She shines in those firefights. Nice inside leg kick there.
A lot of feints out of Amanda Nunes here early. Holly Holm counters.
Oh, big high kick blocked by Holly.
Amanda being very patient, not rushing in.
Well, I think when Holly stung her with that right hand, it was a little bit of a wake-up call. We have to remember, Holly began her career as a boxer.
Right, her kick-heavy attack in MMA sometimes makes you think otherwise, but absolutely.
She's also the type of fighter that rises to the challenge. We saw that, of course, in the Ronda Rousey fight, a fight where a lot of people, like this one, are counting her out.
And even in the Cyborg fight, really rallied late, despite being on the wrong end of a decision against Chris that night.
Well, in my opinion, the Jermaine Durandamy fight should have gone to Holly Holm, which would have led her to be a 2-division champ.
That's right.
She got hit late, twice, and I thought she still won the fight.
Oh, nice slip there, but
yeah,
nice
knee.
Nasty knees to the body by Amanda. Looking for the trip. Oh, she gets it. Oh,
right
defended. Beautiful job.
Good sign for Holly Holm as she gets right back to her feet. Just about 2 minutes here to go in round 1 of a possible 5. Nunes touches that lead leg of Holly Holm. Crowd behind Holm here in Vegas, not far from her Albuquerque home. Nunes just having fun, cracking smiles.
There's that side kick again.
It's a nice front kick there from Nunes.
Holly looking to see the reaction. Lifted that leg up like she was going to throw that round kick. Oh, she got stunned with that right hand.
There we go. That's what Nunes is looking for. Get inside of that kick and land those big, powerful punches. She stays on you. She doesn't ever back too far away. She stays right in range. She'll take a slide back, but she comes right back in.
Nice body kick and a big right from Nunes. Oh, Nunes was... Oh! Huge head kick for Nunes! Amanda Nunes, the queen of the jungle!
She did it with a high kick. Wow.
Just too good. Man.
Brilliant.
Just too good. Wow. Amanda Nunes has now beaten every former UFC Women's Bantamweight champion.
Man.
What a legacy.
She is unquestionably the best. Unquestionable. Any doubt was removed tonight.
Woo.
Nothing but respect between these two women, too.
A lot of people wondered aloud if somehow Holly Holm could extend it. Look at Amanda Nunes, though.
Wow.
Let's take a look at it. Back at it. Fight replay brought to you by Nemerov, bold character since 1872.
Here we go. Wham! Clean. And only the foot. Imagine if that was full shin.
Oh, perfect.
Follows it up beautifully.
She caught her with that right foot in the air where she couldn't move correctly.
All right, let's listen to that kick.
Brilliant. My goodness.
Baseball bats, Joe. Baseball bats.
Brilliant.
Oh, man. Beautiful timing. You're facing somebody in that stance. It's the best move you can do. Go high. Beautiful job, Amanda Nunes. Wow.
And there's the celebration. Conan Silveira, Ketel Kubis, Nina Ansaroff. Here's your 360 angle, Paul.
Let's take a look. She just perfectly chambers that kick. Look at that kick. That is a beautiful, perfect right high kick facing a southpaw. Amanda Nunes set that up, chambered that knee up. She didn't telegraph it. Fast and accurate. Beautiful job. What a knockout. Man, tonight it's getting epic here, John.
How about the competition for the bonus money tonight?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I would not want to be Dana White or Sean Shelby or Mick Maynard. I guess you would, because
might be a 4 performance instead of fight of the night kind of a night.
All the pressure, though, was on Amanda Nunes tonight, and once again, she rises above it and then some. The official decision is brought to you by Metro by T-Mobile. Catch all the action with Metro by T-Mobile and never miss a knockout with their reliable network and unlimited data. To make this one official, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Goddard has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 10 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by TKO, and still the undisputed UFC bantamweight champion of the world, Amanda the Lioness Nunes.
I'm here with the winner and still champion, Amanda Nunes. Amanda, that was a stunning and spectacular knockout, and not only did you retain your title tonight, but you erased any doubt as to whether or not you are the greatest female fighter of all time. How does this feel?
Amazing. A lot of people say, whatever happened in Vegas, stay in Vegas. But she's about to go home with me.
Let's take a look at the KO. Is this something that you set up because you saw her lifting that right leg up? Because you timed it perfectly.
I did it right. I walk in my warm-up. I knew I'm gonna get at her in her own kicking. She likes to do a lot. I told my coach I want to knock her out the same way she likes to knock people out. And then I did it tonight.
So you decided to do that just because that's her specialty?
And because she's the only former champion that I never fight and I didn't beat yet. Now, tonight, I beat her, and I'm very happy.
The only issue right now is that you kind of cleared out the division. What do you look towards for the future now for a challenge?
I definitely want to defend my 145 belt, and let's see, I'm going to talk to Dana. Dana, tomorrow I'm going to call you, we're going to have a talk. I love you, boys. And I just want to say thank you to my coach, Conan, head coach, my girlfriend, Nina Cattell, Lamar, this guy helped me for Dizzy, for my other camps. I want to say, em português, Brasil, my family is right, está assistindo agora, lá no Brasil, todos do Brasil, tamo junto, é tudo nosso, falei a vocês. Mãe, e aí, daqui a pouco eu tô te ligando. Beijo para minhas irmãs, para todo mundo aí, galera, que tá assistindo no Brasil, viu? Guys, this week was a special week for me. I got 3 awards, and I want to say thank you to the fans for voting for me. I really appreciate it.
Congratulations, it was an honor to watch you perform tonight. Amanda Nunes, ladies and gentlemen.
And she called her shot. She wanted the head kick knockout, and she gets it tonight over Holly Holm. These fighter stats brought to you by Poker Stars. Pound for pound, the greatest online poker experience in the world. Take on the best to win millions of prizes every day on Poker Stars. And now Amanda Nunes moves into a tie with Jessica Andrade, the strawweight champion, for the most wins by a women's fighter in UFC history.
Wow.
What else can you say? I mean, I'm telling you, man.
This night is crazy.
And she is dripping with as much class as she has skill. What a night for American top team as Amanda Nunes gets the job done and has another quick night at the office. Well, the UFC has some interesting decisions to make, I would think, when it comes to Amanda Nunes. She has said she wants Paul to defend her UFC women's featherweight title so she can be the first simultaneous 2-division champion to successfully defend both of those belts at the same time, and perhaps that's the course of action.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that's exactly what you do. And if she stays active and keeps staying fresh like this, I truly believe that she can keep defending the 45-pound belt and the 35-pound belt, especially if you get out of there with nights like this, right?
Yes.
She can defend next month.
I think the Cyborg rematch is a must if Cyborg gets past her next fight.
Right.
But other than that, what do you see on the horizon? It's not like the 170-pound division with men, which is stacked with murderers. This is not the case. This is a woman at the top where she's cleaned out the division.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get Shevchenko to step back up to 135 because they had incredible fights.
Right. Ketlin Vieira, of course, should be injected into this conversation as well.
Sure.
Undefeated fighter who a lot of people felt like was worthy of getting this title shot that went to Holly Holm tonight. UFC 239, Jones versus Santos, is presented by Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. Well, the UFC brought out some serious star power at the summer press conference yesterday in Las Vegas with several of the upcoming pay-per-view headliners. Here were some of the highlights.
What's up, everybody? How are you? Thanks for coming out today. Thank you for being a part of International Fight Week. Who has the first question?
Let's talk with Israel now that this matchup is official. This ride for you has been so fast. Can you tell us, how are you heading into the biggest fight of your life?
The last 18 months, it's been crazy. Got signed last year, February. 6 fights in and I'm the champ. Yeah, I can't say for him. He's fought twice in the last maybe 3 years. I've been busy. He keeps talking about me the whole time, and I've just been chilling, minding my own business, so I can't wait. I'm motivated, and I'm inspired, and I'm ready to go.
I don't believe I've been talking that much.
He's been talking.
What do you think about him personally?
What do I think about him? Don't think about him.
Dustin, nobody's found a way to beat Khabib, obviously. What do you think it takes to beat Khabib Nurmagomedov?
It takes pressure, it takes confidence, it takes years of sacrifice, and I've got all those things. I'm gonna make something special happen September 7th in Abu Dhabi. I'm gonna shock the world.
You guys remember this T-Mobile Arena last time, what I did here? Nothing changed. I'm gonna do this in Abu Dhabi too. Defend my title, but without jumping.
I understand that he's gonna be better, but I just
when I think about the fight and the little bit of time that we fought before, I just don't think he's good enough to beat me. I mean, I just don't. Whether it's 25 minutes or 2 rounds, I'm still gonna win the fight.
We'll definitely see August 17th. Trust me, lots changed. Got my mind right. I'm walking out with the belt wrapped around my waist, no question.
I mean, I feel like I've been training for Max for 2 years, and every time he fights, I got to re-switch it up because it seems to be getting better.
Third time's a charm. I can't wait. this guy's a legend. I look forward to fighting him. He might, we're the same person. We'll fight to the death. And, we're going to find out July 27th. Tune in, live on pay-per-view, guys. Don't miss it.
Well, the deck being stacked doesn't even begin to describe it. UFC 240, Holloway versus Edgar. That one is coming up quickly, July 27th, live from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. UFC 241, Cormier versus Miocic 2. That one originates from Anaheim, California on the 17th of August. UFC 242, Khabib versus Poirier. That one's in Abu Dhabi, so make a note of the time. 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific for the UFC Lightweight Championship from Abu Dhabi, Saturday, October 5th. It'll be Whitaker versus Adesanya for the UFC Middleweight Championship unification bout. What a night it has been so far. There's going to be
there's another fight.
No wiping this smile off my face. Paul Felder's had a lot to smile about this week. You got some breaking news for us, champ.
Yes. I will be fighting on that card in Abu Dhabi, a rematch against my man Edson Barboza. We laid it on a line in Chicago many years ago, and we're going to run it back. Thinking a nice spot on that card too. So, and Abu Dhabi, I don't know if you've ever seen this place. It's one of the sickest places I've ever seen photos of in my life. I cannot wait to go there. It's beautiful. The stadium is being built for us to fight in right now. I mean, how often do you get to say you're fighting in a place that's been built for this event? Right. These guys are amazing over there. They want the UFC there. I think it's going to be a packed house. Khabib, Poirier, me, Edson. Come on now. Fireworks.
July 25th of 2015.
I'm excited for
you fought him in the fight of the night in Chicago, and that is your co-main event, by the way, in Abu Dhabi.
Let's
you like
go,
that co-main
man.
event spot.
Let's go.
Getting the countdown treatment as well.
That's
September
right.
7th, UFC 242, Barboza versus Felder 2. Well, this current stretch, we are in 9 straight weekends with a live UFC event. Continues next Saturday. It's UFC Fight Night, Durandamy versus Ladd. From Sacramento, California, the card also marks the return of one Uriah Faber. The UFC Hall of Famer retired after his last fight in December of 2016, and he returns against Ricky Simone. Fast and Furious presents Hobbs & Shaw, starring Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham, in theaters August 2nd.
In the octagon, you're going to face an opponent who is like you in so many ways.
We go toe to toe. Here we go.
Who knows your every move.
Listen like Muhammad Ali, standing tall all over you average.
The only thing more daunting than fighting him is teaming up with him instead.
No way. This guy's a real ass.
Hobbs and Shaw. You want a war? You've got one. Showtime.
Come on!
We are in Las Vegas tonight. It is UFC 239. What a show it has been so far here in the fight capital of the world. It is International Fight Week 2019. Of course, this is how we always close it out, and it has been one spectacular finish after the next here on pay-per-view tonight. And with that, now live from T-Mobile Arena, it is time for the main event for UFC 239, Jones versus Santos, presented by Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. Light heavyweight king John Jones's quest for all-time dominance continues here in Vegas. He faces off with surging Brazilian powerhouse Thiago Santos, third championship fight in the last 7 months for the great Johnny Bones.
This is a bad position for Alex. He's got to scramble out of here. Oh, big shots. Big shots by John Jones.
In a world of trouble here.
That's it.
John Jones
That's it.
has regained the throne.
John John Jones got momentum now. He's on a run right now. Oh! He's just getting beaten up. Anthony Smith is realizing why John Jones is the best light heavyweight of all time. That long suspension, all that time off. I think he just was trying to further cement his legacy.
I've wasted a lot of time with out of the octagon shenanigans. And now that I've lost all the distraction, I really get to get back to my original goal, which is to be a great individual. I know in order to do that, I have to beat everybody. People always talk about being the greatest, and I feel like greatness will always be like an opinion, but being the most dominant really can't be disputed.
He's a champion. He's a man who figures out a way to win, and he has done that over and over and over again.
I believe that I was put on earth to be a martial artist. I believe that I wasn't meant to lose. Just take down the biggest names possible. That's what I'm trying to do. I've cleared out the light heavyweight division.
He is a real new breed.
And now there's a new wave of fighters coming in.
Cannot underestimate the power that this man has in every single thing that he throws.
I really feel like this next chapter will be where I get to prove how great I can possibly be by beating these guys that are coming up.
Thiago Santos! Just guns blazing from the first second of the fight. It's all over!
Como eu sempre falo, eu gosto de fazer meus adversários sentirem dor.
Oh! Big shot from Santos as Yak comes in.
That's it!
Então, eu sou um cara que não gosto de deixar na mão do juiz, eu gosto de terminar antes.
Santos is a wild card. That dude will swing every shot. He's trying to take the lights out.
Oh, that's it!
Down! Jimmy May was oh my goodness!
Thiago Santos does it again!
Oh my goodness!
Com certeza eu cheguei para incomodar a categoria dos meio pesados, né? Eu tenho certeza que eu vou chocar o mundo. Já acabou a era de John Jones, ninguém quer mais o John Jones campeão. Eu vou lá para fazer ele sentir dor, eu vou lá para uma guerra e eu vou para ser campeão.
My dream is to be the most dominant, greatest light heavyweight of all time, and he's standing in the way of that. So it's my job to destroy him. I believe I'm going to do what I've always done. That's dominate.
The 19th UFC appearance for Thiago Santos, Joe, results in his first championship opportunity. He is certainly deserving, undefeated in the light heavyweight division, has got a lot of long-range weapons, and at least to this point, one of the best highlight reels in the game.
One of the main reasons why Thiago Santos is fighting for the title tonight is because we all agree that it's going to be fun to watch. We don't know if he has the skill to be able to hit John Jones. But we know that he's going to give everything that he has to try to get into that position. And we also know that if he does connect, I don't see how any human being can withstand that power. There's a lot of questions with this guy. Can he do this? Can he close that distance? Can he land those shots? Is John going to offer any openings? We don't know, and we're going to find out shortly. But we do know this is going to be fun for as long as it lasts.
You are darn right. This Bet Point brought to you by Modelo Brew for those with a fighting spirit.
Absolutely, man. I've been calling a lot of Thiago Santos' fights throughout the years, and every time I am not disappointed. This guy goes out there and delivers, but tonight he's got a unique, unbelievable challenge in front of him in John Jones. And I wonder, too, if he goes so hard, if John just plays with him for a little bit and doesn't get caught, what's the cardio going to be like? His team says, yes, he could go five-minute rounds with Jon Jones, but that we will find out soon enough.
You never know because you haven't done it.
No.
You know, the thing about Jon is that Jon, when he senses you trying to coast, he turns on the gas.
Yeah.
He starts smacking your legs, starts kicking you all over the place. His pressure is relentless. His experience is unparalleled. And his dominance is unchallenged. There's never been a light heavyweight that has the kind of dominance that Jon Jones has had inside the octagon. His record is 24-1, but let's be honest, that one is nonsense. He was dominating that fight, and he was disqualified for a goofy elbow rule. That was a fight where he was crushing Matt Hamlin. He's an undefeated fighter. No one has beaten him. The only one that's challenged him really was Alexander Gustafsson, and that was admittedly a fight where Jon really didn't prepare. And in the rematch, he destroyed Gustafsson.
Nemiroff, bold character since 1872, and one thing that certainly should be said about Thiago Santos, he is not at all intimidated by the challenge in front of him tonight. We now await the great Jon Jones. So the spotlight once again shines on the man many believe is the greatest mixed martial arts athlete they have ever seen. Of course, his two brothers, Super Bowl champions in the NFL. But Jon Jones making this walk tonight, chasing further greatness. Most wins, finishes, and fight time in UFC light heavyweight history. He wants to be a 20-time world champion. He's trying to make it a baker's dozen tonight.
Well, he's only 31. That's really one of the more incredible things about Jon. We realize he's the youngest ever UFC champion. He's been completely dominant through his entire career. Faced the cream of the crop. Avoided no one. Dominated everyone. I mean, we're looking at a really, really exceptional talent. One of the most unique talents, I think, in the history of the sport. No, let me say that again. The most unique talent in the history of the sport. No one's ever been able to dominate like that. I mean, even Mighty Mouse had some hiccups early in his career, had some tough fights, had some fights where he barely won. Not Jon Jones. Not Jon Jones. He's just been smashing. Smashing and strangling.
Yeah. That's true. And his elbows, man. I'm telling you, Jon Jones can elbow you from the distance that most guys in his division are basically throwing punches. That's a dangerous, scary man to be in front of. Then you see the head kicks that he can throw up against DC and the submission game. Everywhere you go with Jon Jones, you are in trouble, and he's making you pay.
And he's dedicated now, knowing that he really did, for lack of better terms, dodge a bullet, dodge a bunch of bullets with some terrible life decisions. But he's gotten past that. And because of that, he has a newfound appreciation for where he finds himself right now at this stage in his life.
And we talk so much about his length and his skills, and maybe not enough about his heart and his willingness to go to those dark places. Even in that first Gustafsson fight, when admittedly he wasn't in the greatest shape, still able to go to those dark places and win.
The Vitor Belfort fight, he had his arm completely hyperextended. The reason why he coached the Ultimate Fighter was because he couldn't train. His arm was screwed. I mean, it was really badly hyperextended. Did not tap. Most people would have. Went on to tap Vitor Belfort after that.
He has matured tremendously as a human being over the last 12 months or so, and feels like his life is now a reflection of that maturity. They have done their homework on a guy in Thiago Santos who they believe is unpredictable, very talented with his inside and his outside kicks going low. He's fought some pretty good kickers in the past. Shogun Hua, Brandon Vera. We'll see how it goes for Johnny Bones against Maheta tonight. All right, we are ready to go with our light heavyweight championship fight. This Tale of the Tape is brought to you by Modelo. Brewed for those with a fighting spirit. John Jones, 31. Thiago Maheta Santos is 35. Jones the taller man by 2 inches, but we will always highlight the reach when it comes to Johnny Bones. 8.5 inches, his advantage tonight against Maheta. All right, now for the main event introductions, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Presented by Modelo. Sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Chairman Anthony Marnell Jr. Executive Director Bob Bennett. Our 3 judges scoring this contest at Octagon side are Mike Bell, Derek Cleary, and Junichiro Kamijo. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon, Herb Dean. This championship bout is sponsored by Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. P3, the official protein snack of the UFC. And Metro by T-Mobile. Catch all the action with Metro's knockout coverage and unlimited data. And now, for those in attendance and UFC fans watching around the world, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Live from the sold-out T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. It's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a striker holding a professional record, 21 wins, 6 losses. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 204.5 pounds. Fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, presenting the number 2 ranked light heavyweight contender in the world, the challenger, Thiago Maheta Santos. And now introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner, a look-see new fighting fighter. He holds a professional record, 24 wins, 1 loss, 1 no contest. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 205 pounds. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, by way of Endicott, New York, presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, John Bones Jones!
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. Let's keep it clean. Touch gloves and let's do it.
The light heavyweight championship is upon us here from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. John Jones putting his all-time great status on the line every time he competes. His challenger tonight, the very capable Thiago Maheta Santos.
You ready to fight? Ready. Let's do it.
And we are underway. Tonight's main event fight clock is brought to you by Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. Maheta is in white out of the southpaw stance, as is John Jones, wearing the black and gold befitting a champion.
Oof. John opening up with those kicks. There's that front leg side kick to the thigh, that reach.
Santos, yeah, he's attacked both legs early on here.
Those are some very small calves.
No offense to John.
No offense.
But with that frame, that's a smart strategy there for Santos to attack the lower legs of John Jones.
For sure.
And Jones brought that up with us on Thursday. He was wise to it. He says, a lot of people have tried to take out my skinny legs. None have been able to do so yet.
That was a nasty leg kick by John.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of coming back with his own.
Fast and Furious presents Hobbs & Shaw, starring Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham, in theaters August 2nd. Another nice inside leg kick from the head about 90 seconds into this one.
Very interesting so far.
Thiago moving nicely.
Yeah.
Looks relaxed in there.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
nice
that was
kick.
nice. He's leaving himself open when he throws these kicks. He drops his hands. And John, believe me, is reading that.
Johns catches the leg.
Big tap.
Oh,
nice
shot, the
down.
spinning elbow, unable to land.
Good job from Santos to stay on his feet. Another calf kick.
Chopping at that leg. Those are devastating.
It's almost immediate, Joe. You feel them immediate.
And John's got a good poker face, but those things will completely obliterate your ability to move. He just had a little bit of a hobble right there.
I saw that.
He switched stances. Just assume when you see one of those land that it's deadly painful.
Yeah, it hurt. You don't need much on it either. Just dig that shin right into that calf. It immediately starts working. Nice.
Hector raises the guard, continues to move well.
Santos is not just moving well, he's fighting smart.
Nice, but another calf kick.
Man.
And like you said, John not even showing it on his face, but the little teeny steps, all it takes is a little hobble for your opponent to see, and switching stances.
Even if he doesn't see.
Hector with the left hand.
Come on, Don.
We saw Daniel Cormier knock John Jones' mouthpiece out early on in one of their two fights. Back underway, less than 2 minutes here to go, round one. Leg kicks have been a big part of the narrative here early on. 6 have landed for Santos.
Oh, man. That's one of the dangers. The dangers of that oblique kick, right, Joe? If it slips off to the side, you're right immediately in punching range of your opponent.
And you're in a weird stance. You're not in an effective stance to fire back. You have to adjust. Oh! See, that is where everything is dangerous with Thiago. In these exchanges, that's where you can turn the lights out. And he knows it. And John knows it too.
But he's not rushing it, right? He's being very patient. Yes. He's waiting for his opportunities. He's trying to make John come to him.
Yes.
Another leg kick.
Santos doing a pretty good job closing that significant distance tonight.
And the difference between the way he's approaching it and, say, someone like Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith fought a very good first round, but he fought it very technically. Thiago's fighting it technically, but when the exchanges come, he's throwing bombs.
Throwing everything with force. He's going to look for that calf again if he stays orthodox.
Final 10 seconds of the round. And a big first round for Thiago Santos. A late land there by Johnny Bones. Likely 1-0 Santos. Tonight's Corner Cam brought to you by Body Armor. Make the switch to Body Armor, the official sports drink of UFC. More natural, better sports drink. Grab one today at Speedway.
And let's get some good breathing in. Here's some water for you. Okay. Well, that was an excellent round. You're setting a good pace. You're putting things together well. I just need you to cut him off a little more instead of just kind of following him, you know what I mean? And he's going to, and you know what to do. do. Stay calm. I wouldn't mind seeing you get to the hips a few times on some nice takedowns there when you're ready. Don't force it.
Yeah, those long-range kicks, John Jones, when you're backing them up, there are no calf kicks, all right?
If you back him up, there are no calf kicks, Winklejohn said. Here's one. That one caught him with just the instep, but you see the impact. It's just a horrible place to get hit. And there's another one.
Solid. Solid kick.
And there's another one behind the leg.
So an encouraging start for the plus 375 underdog, Thiago Santos. We'll see if he can keep it going here in round 2.
And again, John resumes the orthodox stance, which should indicate that he's having some problems with those kicks. Oh, Thiago hurt himself. He hurt himself.
Oh! Santos with a couple left hands forces Jones to retreat.
Now he's got to go for broke if he's hurt. Good body kick.
He may have recovered. Sometimes it's just initial pain.
Yeah, he's still throwing, you're right.
He seems okay.
Oh, that would be so disappointing, wouldn't it?
Yes.
You wonder if Jones might be thinking about grappling here early round 2. Santos feinting a lot, absorbs that inside leg kick.
It looks like Santos may have hurt his left leg when he threw that kick. We're looking at the replay, and it looked like he did not rotate on the ball of his foot, and he might have tweaked his knee.
Yeah, his knee, his hip, his groin, his foot. Something happened that he didn't feel, but he seems to be moving better on it now.
Right, it might have been a pre-existing injury as well. Sometimes when guys have meniscus tears, you can still fight. It just hurts when you move your knee in a strange way.
Well, he has certainly earned Jones's respect early on in this one.
He certainly has. I mean, Jones is very aware that as he closes the distance, Thiago's looking to take his head off. And he's hit him enough times that Jones respects that power.
Nemiroff bold character since 1872.
Oh, he goes high with the head kick there.
Jones all over it, raises that right hand.
This is an interesting game they're playing here. He did that again, and he seems like his knee is tweaked. There's something going on with his left knee.
Oh, nice jab. John's finding more of his distance here.
Yep. Nice body kick from Santos. Jones backs up to avoid further damage. Oh, yeah. Santos, maybe a one-legged fighter here.
Yeah.
Jones seems to know it.
He fell down there as he was getting kicked. He's having a hard time moving on that left leg. It might be severely compromised. It's hard to tell.
We'll see if he chooses to throw it again or not. Now Jones attacks that right leg. Under 2 minutes here to go in round 2. Oh! Nearly landed flush.
I think Thiago's got to start going for it. Yeah, because
Good
if
left
that
hand
leg
to the
is...
body. Yeah.
It hurt as bad as it is, and his kicking game is such a big part of his style that...
Well, you know, we've seen guys like Robert Whittaker fight 5 rounds on a compromised knee. I mean, he can move. He's moving all right. It's just, he's got to be careful with it.
Oh, man, he's just missing. Jones doing a great job slipping out of the way of these bombs. He just doesn't care.
No, he's a wild man.
Got a hurt leg?
This is what we talked about. This is what makes him exciting.
Already putting up a much better fight than John Jones' last 2 opponents, that's for sure.
Right?
Not just that, looks calm. Like calm in the storm. Doesn't look like he's out of his element. Looks like he's setting things up and he expects to win. Like we've seen him in all of his fights.
Well, right. That is the rub with Thiago Santos.
Yes.
Under a minute here to go. We've seen a couple left kicks thrown from Santos since that latest knee buckle. Significant strikes round by round. Advantage Santos in round 1, evenly matched here, at least unofficially in round 2.
And no more takedown attempts from John. Since that one, right?
Ooh, okay. His leg seems fine.
Gonna hurt tomorrow.
Ooh, and again, Jones able to back up and avoid that left hand of Maheta. Tonight's Corner Cam is brought to you by Body Armor. Make the switch to Body Armor, the official sports drink of UFC. More natural, better sports drink. Grab one today at Speedway.
You did the better than the first one. Let's keep on. We're in the game. Very good job. Everything you've seen is everything we planned for. Let's breathe. Let's breathe. I want you not stop in front of me. Keep on circling. Believe in your combinations.
And there you can see that tweaking of the knee again. He threw the kick and buckled. You see his knee, you can see it pop out.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he might have a torn ACL.
Oh.
Here you see it again. I mean, it's entirely possible that he has a torn ACL here. The way that knee gave out like that, that's often indicative of a torn ligament. But no one knows other than him. And he's not weighing on it. If you see, he's leaning on his right leg.
Right. Round 3 is brought to you by P3, the official protein snack of the UFC.
He's moving so well if that's
a
tear, but that did not look good in that slow-mo version of that knee. I saw something moved in there.
Something moved, but you know, it doesn't necessarily mean there's a tear, but he definitely looked like he was hurting. But he's playing it off and he's moving fine.
Yeah, to this point, Maheta's been able to fight through it. Might have even won that second round.
Very well could have won that round. Oh,
nice.
Jesus.
I'm telling you, his kicks.
Everything. And he's being technical. It's not just wild and predictable. He's doing some sneaky stuff. I'd like to see him get back to those leg kicks. He was having some really good success with the first round. And he forced John to switch stances.
Strong body kick. Right off the elbow, though.
Jones landing at a 50% clip, but not nearly the output we have seen in fights past.
Did you guys see that? He had another stumble.
Yeah. He's having a problem with that knee for sure. But he's working through it.
Moving pretty well, given the circumstances. Man, Jones has a chin. Didn't seem all that fazed by any of those 3 strikes that landed.
Sat him down. John's coming in hard here. He knows he's stunned him.
He's got to be careful. He's got to be careful, though. He might not be stung. He might be wobbling because of that knee.
Big knee from Jones. And he gets right back to his feet, promptly lands a knee to the body. Under 3 minutes here to go in round 3. Jones starting to pick up the pace now midway through this one.
Yeah, he's starting to open up, flying knees. Looking for those elbows. I'm surprised he hasn't tried some more, closing the distance, but that's a dangerous proposition with Thiago Santos in there.
I wonder if John's corner recognized the fact that his knee is bad. He hobbled on it again.
Jones with authority now to that right leg of Santos, forces a brief stance switch, but he can't keep that left leg exposed.
Well, he's been standing southpaw anyway. Look at that. Man. He's still throwing it. Still extremely dangerous.
That's so insane that he's throwing that left leg as hard as he can. Gets back up.
And he covers up well.
Great job by Jones there defensively. You see a pretty nasty cut on the hairline of Santos.
Some John Jones elbows, nice spinning back kick.
And you see John just dig that heel right into that rib area.
Oh, nice kick. Beautiful side kick to the thigh. John's starting to beat him up. Front kick to the body.
Jones giving Santos a whole lot to think about here late round 3.
Starting to play with him a little bit.
Right back to that lead leg goes Johnny Bones. 1 minute now to go in the round.
Thiago's got to go back to attacking those legs. He really does. John's got a pretty significant welt in the inside of his left thigh as well.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, and he just nailed it.
There he goes.
There he goes. That's, I think, a giant key here. He's got to land those. He already is fighting from an orthodox stance. If he can attack that leg in the front, the left leg now. Look at that thigh, the inside thigh on the left leg. There it is again. That's a pretty big welt.
Yeah. Jones has not stepped back, and he's stalking him this whole time. Love those front kicks to the body, too, from John. So fast.
His ability to fight through adversity and pain. Second to none, just missed on the spinning elbow. Pretty big third round for the champion.
Definitely his most dominant round so far.
Let's take a look here. This is that elbow right on the temple, the side of the head that dropped Thiago Santos. That did stun him. That one got right through this flying knee. And John literally goes over his back. Looked like Santos might have a good position for a second. This big step and elbow right off the top of Thiago Santos' head is what opened him up there. Man, but crazy back and forth between these two guys. Very technical.
Left leg is feeling it.
Eu sei que tu falseou, a gente viu.
I saw it.
É.
You look very good. You keep
shots and then high. Okay?
Get your hands up. Low and high, exactly. Low and
body,
high. Low and high.
body.
Got it.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go. Whatever is wrong with Santos' knee, it doesn't seem like he's even brought it up.
Right. They certainly haven't iced it. Well, after tonight's main event, don't miss a recap of all the action from Vegas on the UFC 239 post-show on ESPN+. I'll be there with Michael Bisping and Chael Sonnen. We'll break it all down right after the main event tonight on ESPN+. And you saw Don House, the cut man in the corner of John Jones, working the inside of that left leg a little bit. Championship rounds, my man.
You know, I was just thinking maybe they're just not translating it in the corner about his knee. Or maybe they're, like you said, Joe, it's so pre-existing, they know. They know it's there.
He's throwing it. I mean, maybe we're exaggerating the idea. Whoa. Oh, my goodness.
He's going for it.
Nice job defensively once again by Jones.
That guy is so dangerous.
And whether you considered Santos a live underdog or not, his style is such that you knew he'd bring the fight. He has certainly done that. Leg kicks, slight edge in terms of the lands for Santos.
Spinning back kick to the body by John. Oh, wheel kick.
Amazing how close he came to landing that. What a daunting task to prepare for both of these men, but to prepare for John Jones in particular.
Yeah, how do you find someone to mimic that? Thiago's waiting on John, and you can't do that. And this may be because of his problem with movement. Yeah, see, there it is. He's having a real problem with that leg. He still throws it. Wild man.
And it's like John Jones has that right hand glued to his face defensively. Every time you think maybe Santos might land, John's guard is up.
Yep. Ooh, that was a nice check. Yep.
Yeah. Look at the welt in the inside of John's leg. I mean, it is massive. You can see it across the octagon.
Yeah, I think that was all from that one in particular started really badly in the first round, right away from that inside leg kick of Santos. Man, it's crazy that every now and then it'll just buckle, completely buckle on him, that left leg. Yep. Beautiful leg kick.
Brief switch to orthodox, now back to the southpaw stance for Santos. Coming up on 2 minutes here to go in round 4. And that right leg now appears to be bothering Santos as well. Hard to blame him.
Well, it's getting kicked. Both legs. Left leg is hurting. Right leg's getting attacked by John Jones, so. Oh man, just got out of the way of that back fist. See, that prevents him from exploding in with these punches. John just checking that with the oblique kick, keeping him at bay so well with it.
90 seconds in the round. Santos moving gingerly.
Surprised when he's in that southpaw stance that we don't see John try to attack that side with a right kick. He's so sneaky with his kicks. Look how low the hands are too. If he could just feint low, come right up, boom.
John's just constantly switching up the looks he gives him. Waiting for Santos. Oh, nice inside leg kick by Santos.
Nice land of the body by Jones.
Oh, that's the head kick.
There it is.
And a Superman punch from John Jones. Santos backs away.
Every time he takes that center step, every time, brother, this is his head.
Nice body kick.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's hard to watch, man.
Yeah.
Jones still moving exceedingly well despite all those inside leg kicks from Santos. Well, Santos may need a wheelchair after this fight, but he is very much in it through 20 minutes.
To the surprise of many.
Come on. Let's relax.
Which one? How did you feel?
Last round.
No, which one?
Last round.
Stay hunting and then bring something up middle. So on body shots, leg shots, then look low, go high. You got it? Look low, go high. That's it.
Hey, it's the last round, so hands up, but keep some good pressure on him, okay? See what we can do in there. We got 5 minutes. We've been doing 5 minutes all week, all day, all year. 5 minutes, okay?
Check leg kick. He's hurt from you checking leg kicks already.
Break him down.
Yeah, you can see his leg buckle here. Absolutely having a problem with that. You can see it here. Look at it. See how it pops out? That looks like a torn ACL. Coming from somebody who's had 2 of them. But this guy is not giving any indication.
5th and final round for the UFC light heavyweight title. John Jones, Thiago Maheta Santos. Beautiful body kick.
On a torn ACL.
Well, it could be entirely torn before he got here. Many guys fight with torn ACLs. He stunned them there.
Yeah, that's. You can't count this guy out till the bell is finally rung, because he's still throwing big power, even on a clearly damaged knee.
Little foot stomp there from Jones for good measure. Bone on bone collision.
There it is again, an inside leg kick. Thiago knows this is his last round, his last chance. He's going for it.
I am no judge. Conceivably, though, it could be 2-2 here. Rounds 3 and 4 likely belong to John Jones, but Maheta got off to a great start.
We've seen way worse decisions.
Right. That salient point.
I just wonder how badly. I wonder what differences we would see out of Thiago tonight if that knee wasn't injured early.
My goodness. And John absorbs it like a sponge.
Good body kick.
Yeah, he faked him up top and went to the body there. That was a very good body kick.
So Santos has landed some strikes of significance here. 2 minutes into round 5.
Still very dangerous. Very dangerous. That side kick to the thigh is so effective for John. Oh, went to the body there with that one.
Perfect.
He checked that one. He caught that one on the knee.
But he doesn't stop throwing. I mean, you see a lot of athletes, they throw inside kicks, get checked like that, and they'll stop throwing it in a fight.
Oh, there it goes again.
Still throwing kicks.
Amazing, but this is about as bad as it has been for Santos. Pain starting to kick in.
It's an instability issue, John. I don't even think he's recognizing it as pain.
No, yeah, it's just, it gives out.
Yeah, it just buckles. It's why it's better off throwing the left kick, because he doesn't have to pivot off the knee. Yeah. It's when he's throwing the right kick that it really becomes an issue, or when he's moving side to side and has to adjust on the fly.
Jones continuing to be the advancing party here late, coming up on 90 seconds to decide the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship.
How amazing it is that this fight has never been to the ground.
Right.
Yeah. We talked about that. I said that, John. And when we talked to him this week, was like, yeah, I might just, go where he feels best and beat him there.
Right.
The problem is this. In this round, Thiago Santos is the one who's got off the big shots.
Right. Yeah.
The judges could very easily be giving him this round. And this could be the deciding round in a championship fight. I'm not saying that's my opinion, but I'm saying in a crazy world, the world of MMA judging, this is a dangerous game with less than a minute to go.
And you see all unofficial numbers there in terms of the round 5 significant strikes. Jones with the advantage, but Santos has certainly had his moments late.
Maybe the advantage in numbers, but not in impact.
Right.
The ones that Thiago's landed were the bigger shots.
But just also the physicality and the control of John is things that they'll be considering, hopefully, or at least should be.
Yes.
So,
no, I agree.
Yeah.
Man, have these fans been spoiled tonight? If there's reason to boo right now, final 10 seconds.
Yeah. I don't know what you could be booing. It's been a great championship fight.
They want a gunfight.
So John Jones and Thiago Santos go the distance, and what a tremendous moment there between two truly elite mixed martial artists. Whole lot of mutual respect there, and going to be interesting to hear Thiago Santos after the fact talk about the extent to which he was compromised with that left leg. This fight replay brought to you by Emirates, bold character since 1872.
So here we go, early on, low kicks for Thiago that were very effective. and that was the one that buckled his knee. The way he reacted, you could tell there was something wrong with the knee, but we really don't know if that's something he came into the octagon with. I know of at least one fighter that's currently fighting in the UFC that has a torn ACL, a fully torn ACL, and still competes with it. So people do it. Right. They have done it. Rico Rodriguez fought for years with a torn ACL. And there you see that inside leg kick.
Yeah, I mean, Santos was trading some leg kicks, but just when he would get a good kick going, boom, his leg would completely buckle out from underneath of him. Jones with all the pressure.
Never stopped his attack.
No, not at all. I mean, still smiling. Torn ACL, potentially. All right, some numbers. Significant head strikes, 17-11 for Thiago Santos. Body strikes and leg strikes. Advantage for the champion, John Bones Jones. All right, the official decision is brought to you by Metro by T-Mobile. Catch all the action with Metro by T-Mobile and never miss a knockout with their reliable network and unlimited data. All right, one final time tonight. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Junichiro Kamijo scores the contest 48-47, Santos. Derek Cleary scores the contest 48-47, Jones. And Mike Bell scores it 48-47 for the winner. And still the undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, John Bones Jones.
I'm here with the winner and still.
Oh my goodness. Boy, was he tough. Hey guys, I am so sorry. I know a lot of you guys are booing me right now. Hey, Thiago, we all know his best chances of winning this fight was to win by knockout. I played it smart, and I brought home this gold for my family and my team. To God be the glory.
There's no reason to be sorry. There was an excellent fight. Coming into this fight, you knew that he was a wild man. You knew that he was going to throw these wild punches. Was there anything surprising?
Hey, he was just technically a lot more sound than I thought. Hey guys, Thiago Santos is a black belt in Muay Thai. You know what I mean? So I'm proud of myself, actually. I stood and fought with a guy who's been kickboxing way longer than me.
That's a question. Why didn't you try to take him down?
You know, I felt like I was winning. You know, it was like, you know, there's no need to go for a shot. We were playing a very high-level chess match in there. And, I mean, I think he made me look back. I got to go back and watch the fight for myself. But anytime you out-kickbox a guy who's a black belt in Muay Thai, you shouldn't hold your head down.
The leg kicks, particularly the low calf kicks, how much of a problem was that early on?
Oh, man, they hurt. They definitely hurt pretty bad. He implemented a game plan that I think a lot of people wanted to for a long time. He did a really good job. He exploited a hole in my game, and that's something that won't be there the next time.
Well, John, you continue to reign as the most dominant light heavyweight of all time. You are the winner and still. Congratulations, sir.
Hey, guys, shout out to my team. I got my little brother, Chandler Jones, one of the best defensive ends in the league. Mike Wigglejohn, Roberto Alencar, Brandon Gibson. My dad, Arthur Jones, Pastor Arthur Jones, his wrestling coach, Coach Frank Barata. Without this guy here, I would have never joined the wrestling team. Coach Izzy and the Greg Jackson. I love you guys so much, guys. I'm not sure if you guys, I think you guys are proud of me, but I will do better next time, I promise. I love you guys so much. This is our 14th world title, and it's coming back to Albuquerque, New Mexico.
The champion of the world, ladies and gentlemen, John Jones. I'm here with Thiago Santos. First of all, Thiago, it was an excellent performance, a very tough fight for you. It seemed like early on, maybe in the first round, your left leg gave out. Was that a pre-existing injury or did it happen during the fight?
Excelente performance, a luta muito dura. Parece que no primeiro round a sua perna esquerda saiu. O que aconteceu?
No primeiro round ali o meu joelho, eu não sei, falseou e
Logo no primeiro round machucou. E aí eu não consegui mais me movimentar muito bem. Tava toda hora saindo do lugar. Não sei o que aconteceu, a gente vai ter que ver aí. Mas sem choro, sem lamentação, eu tô feliz. Só tenho a agradecer a Deus, ao UFC pela oportunidade, ao Jones pela oportunidade, por ter aceitado lutar comigo. É um cara que eu assisto há muito tempo lutar. É um guerreiro, sou fã. E só tenho a agradecer, cara, ao UFC, Dana White, Mickey pela oportunidade. A galera do FCPI, que me atendem muito bem desde sempre, não só agora pela luta de cinturão, mas sempre me atenderam muito bem. Só tenho a agradecer, cara, não tem desculpa para dar, tô feliz, saí na porrada, que é o que eu gosto de fazer, e é isso aí. Obrigado ao público que veio assistir.
Alex, you got all that?
Well, yeah, in the beginning of the first round, something went out. My knee seemed to go out. I couldn't move very well anymore, but there's no whining about it. It is what it is. I want to thank everybody. Thankful to be here. Thank the UFC to have me here. Thank John Jones for accepting to fight me. I thank my camp. I thank everybody. I thank the PI, everybody to be here. I thank God.
Well, Thiago, this was a very close fight. In fact, you won on one judge's scorecard. Was there anything surprising about this contest?
Até juiz te deu a vitória. Teve alguma surpresa nessa luta?
Não, é isso. A gente fez um bom camp. Tenho a agradecer a minha equipe, a TFT, a American Top Team, ao Dem, Cona, Palpinha, Catel, Macarrão, a galera toda aí. Mestre Felipe Lima, ao meu empresário Alex Davis. Eu sou só gratidão. Agradecer a todos. Vocês mudaram a vida de um menino da Cidade de Deus. Chegar aqui onde eu cheguei já é um grande feito. Então, sem choro, sem lamentações, só gratidão a todos aí pela oportunidade e pela ajuda.
No, I'm just thankful. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank TFT. I want to thank American Top Team, Dan Lambert, Catel, Macarrão, all my team. You know, this was a chance given to a very poor boy from the city of God, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity.
Thank you, Thiago, for an excellent fight. Thiago Santos, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so Thiago's going to have help getting out of here, but so did the champ. John Jones was banged up. That calf kick was definitely effective. You see him here getting helped out back to the locker rooms. Both guys are going to be hurting.
And John Jones needing more help than Thiago Santos, who appears to be making his way down the stairs right now. John Jones was extended tonight. No one has beaten John Jones on the scorecards before, or a scorecard before. Thiago Santos did that, and I think there's a lot of people out there think he did enough to win the fight tonight.
Well, it was certainly close, and we were alluding to that in the last round. I don't think it was a bad decision, but we were saying, hey, this is a fairly close fight, and it's very subjective, depending on how you look at what was done. I mean, you see John walk out of there severely compromised. Now you have to ask the question, what if Thiago pivoted on that kick? What if he didn't absorb it on his knee? What if it didn't blow out? How much different would this fight be if Thiago had two knees? I mean, he won the fight on one judge's scorecard with a bad knee.
Well,
it's a crazy fight.
Right. And everything we hope to get out of Thiago Santos tonight as John Jones' challenger, we got, and then some. His stock goes through the ceiling.
And some, because he fought technical.
Yeah.
He didn't just fight wild, which we knew he could. He certainly did fight wild, but he also fought technical. He set a lot of things up. He threw some off-speed things and some very fast thigh kicks and calf kicks that I think really caught John off guard. I think that switching of this, like he would throw kicks where it looked like he didn't expect to land them, and then he would pause, whack, and then the other ones would come in very fast.
Right.
And he did a lot of good work with combinations of punches. He caught John with some big shots. To John's credit, he has an amazing chin, and he moved away as he was getting hit, which he is very good at doing. But it was a good fight, and it was a good 5-round fight with a lot of people coming into this fight thought that Thiago was trying to blow it out of the water in the first 1 or 2 rounds, that eventually John would beat him down. And it was also unusual that John never tried to take him down, which I think is ill-advised.
And I'm glad you asked him, but a tremendous capstone to International Fight Week 2019, an outstanding pay-per-view, and no shortage of things to talk about deep into next week. UFC 239, Jones versus Santos, has been brought to you by Motel 6. When you're ready to tap out, check into Motel 6 and save. We'll leave the light on for you. By Poker Stars, pound for pound the greatest online poker experience in the world. Take on the best to win millions of prizes every day on poker.